Draft night 2025. Smash the like button. We're going to be live the whole night for pick 7, for pick 23 if they make it. We'll talk about the latest rumors we're hearing or what's been going on, who we think they'll draft at 7, and the latest on Derik Queen, who all of a sudden has jumped a ton of odds there on sports books, and then also Ace Bailey. So smash the like button. Thanks for joining the show. Let's do it.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. You've been hurt any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Always fight for the win, as always. Powered by 4D. Shout out John Deere. Blue Moon, Chaz.
Blue Moon.
Chris Smith Holmes, Task, 4D, as I already said, and Theo's. All right. Draft night 2025. Right off the bat, Grub. Who's the first pick? Just right off the bat, who in your opinion, who the Pelicans selecting first?
Okay, I thought you said who's the first pick.
No, not the first.
Like
Well,
talking about somebody
like,
else with a Cooper flag at first. That's what I thought.
Who the Pelicans selecting first?
I think it's either, at this point, it's either Trey Johnson or Kamen Malawach. And it just depends on how things fall. But, I think you'd have to favor Malawach at this point because of the fact that the only two bigs you have on this roster right now are Yves Misi and Carlo Makovic. So I think that at this point, Malawach has to be the favorite at that 7th spot. Certainly there are other bigs available at 23 or 40 if the Pelicans stay there. But I think if you're trying to get somebody who's going to impact you defensively, especially in the light of the trade that they made, I think Malawach is the pick.
Chris.
I just don't believe it's gonna actually be Derik Queen.
Why would you say that? Why would you all of a sudden just say Derik Queen? Because of all the rumors?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I sometimes it gets like too loud, and I think that like when you hear stuff like that, and I feel like there's a reason, there's a plan for it, or maybe like I believe there's actual interest there, but I don't think the real interest there is at 7. I am going to say I think they get Fears. I think Fears will fall to him. I do.
Okay. Chaz.
I think be Fears.
Who the Pelicans take?
I've been sticking with my instinct that something's gonna happen with the Jazz. I'm probably wrong, but John Collins opting in today was interesting to me. Like, oh, why you do it today? Could have did it yesterday. You could have did it tomorrow. Why'd you do it today? But I think it's gonna be Ace or Malawach.
I think it's Ace.
Think it's Ace.
I don't. Yeah, I think it's Ace. I want to put this on record before the draft starts. I don't want to trade up for Ace. We've all been saying I don't want to trade up for Ace. If Ace is there at 7, I'm happy.
Can I ask y'all this?
Yeah.
What pick at 7 would upset y'all?
What pick?
Ace.
Derik Queen.
Derik Queen would upset you?
Derik Queen at 7 would upset me. Grubb says that's a good question, Chaz. Grubb says Ace.
Ace.
Chris? Chaz.
I mean,
well, whatever.
Man, I mean, I don't. It wouldn't be. It would have to be somebody like a major reach, a Jaku. It would have to be.
Everybody hates Jaku.
Watch him be the best player in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, because like I could if they take Derik Queen. While I'm a fan, I necessarily wouldn't want him at 7. I at least have optimism towards, okay, they can use 23 to trade up. Maybe that means that they're not 100% done, right? And we'll see how that ultimately looks. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be upset if it was Ace. Malawach is it's like okay, I get it. It's a safe floor pick. I mean, who else we talking about?
But Chris, that's the safe word. The safe word.
Is it safe though, you think?
I think so.
As it's just like safe how it was with Misi last year.
Safe. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. it's nowhere close to being the same, Justin. They're not the same player.
Like Maluak, right?
Yeah. Maluak.
Chris, can I ask you a question before? Can I ask you a question before?
I'm listening.
Do you think it? Then let me hear your thoughts on it. If you take Maluak, right? Maluak and Misi on the same team. I know there are a lot of arguments. I'm not saying it's wrong to have them both on the roster. I just don't feel like drafting a center last year at 21, and he showed he improved all year, and then drafting another center at 7 this year. I would just personally like a playmaker. Personally, I would just like some type of playmaker.
Let me say this.
Right, but you can't.
I'm gonna go back because I'm old. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'll just do 1984.
Okay.
The Portland Trailblazers already had Clyde Drexler, right? They could have drafted Michael Jordan, and they asked Bobby Knight about it before the draft, and they said we don't need Jordan because we need a center. And Bob Knight said, draft Jordan and let him play center. If you got a better player at the same position, you take the better player.
That's fair.
And I think Maluak is a better player than Yves Missi. And Yves Missi's ceiling, he's a good player. You know what I'm saying? He's a good player. Maluak has a chance to be a great player.
That's fair.
And I think that's the difference. The Pelicans need a force of some type in the paint. That's what they do not have. And Yves Missi at his best, if he gains 10 more pounds, he's 225. Maluak is 245 today. He's 7'2" today. And so I think, like, if you're trying to get better, you know what I'm saying? Like, Maluak makes you better. And Yves, again, if you got to trade Yves at some point to get more stuff, then that's fine too. And that's just the nature of the business. You know what I mean? So I think it's not really a problem. You take the best player, whomever's there, and then you figure it out.
That's a really good point, Grubb. That's a really good point.
Look,
Go ahead, Chris.
I'll tell you this. While I wouldn't be upset if they took Fears, and that was my prediction. Out of all the guys that I named, he's the player I like the least. So, but there's a bunch of they would really have to fuck up at 7 for me to be like upset, because Maluak is like he to me he's a dude that if health is right, he's gonna give you 10 years, double doubles, probably gonna be a plus regular season player, who may have some issues in the postseason, like a lot of guys at his size, at his stature, at his mobility. But when you are the Pelicans, you're gonna need more people that speak to you having regular season success before you can even start talking or trying to figure out, like, well, how do we pivot in the postseason?
At least you're in the postseason, Chris. Like that's a fair point. Go ahead, Chaz.
There's about 3 that would like upset me. So I'm just like, because I've said before several times, if you get a couple of the trades right, I'm willing to let you do your thing at 7. It's like, fuck, the last administration got a chance to fuck up. Why not you? So, I'm just being real. It's like, it's only fair. So, but Trey Johnson at 7, Con Knipple, and Queen. Those are the 3 that I would be like, I'll say Queen bothers me so much at 7 that I would rather them trade up for Ace than draft Queen at 7, just because I watched Queen interviews. I know he's a young guy. Man, I don't know. It's something about DMV players that I just haven't seen a good one in a long time, and I'm not that interested in Queen. And I think he's a power forward also. I don't think he's a center in the NBA. And I already got one pudgy guy who's miscast as a power forward, short pudgy guy. So now you're gonna give me another pudgy guy and you're gonna force him to play center when he's really a power forward. Then you're gonna realize, oh shit, we need a center. So now you got to go find a center again. It's just gonna be a repetitive process to me.
So I'm gonna ask the chat a question. I want to ask the chat what Chaz just asked us. Who is someone you will not want to pick at 7? So I'm kind of interested in to hear y'all's thoughts. Because I'm starting to see a lot of comments like, go get Ace. A lot of people don't want Maluak at 7. I'm starting to go ahead, Chris.
And Justin, I'll say this. I wouldn't like trading up for Ace Bailey. And
No.
I would, and again, with Derik Queen, I want Derik Queen to be a Pelican, but not if it means I'm picking him at 7 and I'm waiting till 23 to pick again.
Yeah.
Right. But one of the things I'd at least walk away from tonight. Okay, they went and got their dude.
Mhm.
It's the first year of the regime, and whether it was unpopular or whether a lot of people disagree with it, they went and got their player. This isn't year 2 of going to get your player. This isn't being stuck with someone else's draft pick. This is year 1 of you going to get whoever, whether it's Ace, whether it's Derik Queen. Everyone may not like it or agree, but you went and got it. This ain't Dyson Daniels falling to you at 8, and you really talked about Jaden Ivey and Jabari Smith all season, right? If they draft Queen at 7 or they go up to trade for Ace Bailey or Ace Bailey falls to them at 7, they got their guy. And I think that speaks for something for a regime in their first draft together.
Another thing
draft is officially
about,
started at 7:05. Sorry, Chaz. So the Dallas Mavericks are official on the clock. Go ahead.
So that's going to be a nail biter. But see who's picking when they get in there. But one thing I will say, the thing I'm looking at the most at 7 is what person could realistically have some value if I were to trade him again, right? Like, to me, I feel like some of these dudes, like for Fears, I feel like there's teams who are gonna be like, oh well, he gonna go to the second team and figure it out, or I see what they doing there. I see something there. He was the youngest guy. People are gonna talk themselves into, I can fix this guy. Like, I'm not gonna give you a lottery pick for him, but I'll give you a couple seconds. But then you got some people I'm just like, nah. You're a lot. Some people I'm looking at like you're a lot closer to who you'll always be. And now it's just about fine-tuning the things you do well. Like, and I feel like if a dude ain't got a crazy upside, just don't even bother. That's why I say, look, just give me Noah. Because I can live with you just saying, I don't know, man. I saw all these numbers and these measurables, and I thought if I just develop them and fine-tune them a couple years from now, he'll be awesome. Because I ain't got to worry about Willie not playing him really. This dude is in the lab like Goku training. And like I just need him fine-tuning his game, and next year he'll be ready. But
we got about 375 people in here. Once again, we're going to be here all night. So make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody that's here right now. I do have a question for you, Grub, from Tony. Does Ace, just say they do draft Ace Bailey, does Ace Bailey and Jordan Poole make sense? If so, who would get traded after this?
The biggest thing for me, and take away my problems with Ace's game, I'll just set all those aside. The thing that continues to bother me about taking an Ace Bailey is, where does he get his opportunities? Because you've got 3 primary scorers now: Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, and Jordan Poole. 3 primary scorers. You are still at this point stuck with a DeJounte Murray on your roster. You don't know if he's going to be gone. We all think that he should be, but I think for him right now, he's still on your roster. So that's a 4th guy. So where does Ace, in a team that, again, with Willie Green, that has not played rookies unless there's been injury? You're also talking about, you already have Herb Jones on the roster. You already have Antonio Reeves on the roster. You still have Jordan Hawkins on the roster. You still have Jose Alvarado on the roster. All those guys playing. Ace Bailey, absolutely, wherever he goes, if you're going to get the best out of him, you got to play him today. You got to give him shots. You got to let him fail. You got to kiss his ass and massage his ego to make him feel like he's the centerpiece. When somebody says, I want a path to stardom, then you've got to give it to them, because that kid is going to check out. He's going to check out if you don't give him that path. And the Pelicans, A, don't need those problems. And B, if you are a team with the track record that they have in struggling with player development, and you got to make these decisions soon, are you comfortable, even if you do trade one of these guys, are you comfortable with putting the future of the Pelicans over the next 5 years in Ace Bailey's hands?
I think for me with Ace, it's kind of like how I'm starting Joe Dumars' tenure in Weaver. I'm starting them at like 0-2, right? To me, Willie Green's a lame. Like now, he could not be, but to me, Willie Green's a lame duck coach. I think he'll have less say than ever. So with Ace, I kind of if they draft him, because he could totally not make it to whatever they're trying to do, but I'm gonna look, if they draft him, I'm gonna look at it like this, kind of like when Ant was on the Olympic team. And, Steve Kerr was like, man, we need you to come off the bench. Kobe, such and such came off the bench for Kobe, and Ant looked around, was like, what? Like, these dudes suck. So if I'm Ace and I'm looking at the Pelicans, I'm like, he always hurt. He always hurt. He always hurt. Like, it just looked like, just going based on history, I'm like, if he's drafted today, it's probably not 4 players on the roster better than him. Like, especially with the second unit, it's kind of just like, and given these dudes' injury histories, if these motherfuckers make it out of camp, I'll be shocked if they make it out of camp healthy. So I don't know.
Chris, you said something interesting. It was maybe like a week ago in the text thread. You said something along the lines of like, we were talking about how Ace Bailey wasn't doing any workouts or anything like that. You're like, good, we need this guy. Could you? Could you elaborate a little bit more? Go ahead. Could you? Could you? That's kind of crazy. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Hey man, I put in. Listen, hey, you want to see me work out? Go pull up the tape. Game 4 against
Grub
Rice.
doesn't like the tape.
Hey, I mean, you may not listen. I have been working this entire off season. I'm Ace Bailey. I've been working the previous off season. Okay. Y'all been telling me, y'all told me I was the guy. Everybody told me, all these silly ass mock drafts, everybody I talked to, all these agents, Rutgers, everybody said I'm guaranteed top 3 pick. Okay. And handlers told me, I could have went anywhere and been the number 1 guy. They said, go and play with Dylan Harper. It'd be good for basketball. You're gonna get a bunch of money. I get a chance to play with this dude. We're gonna win a bunch of games. I mean, and look, we both going top 3. That didn't happen either. Okay. Now this is about me. Now, in regards to the Pelicans, we've been talking about all the nice guys over the past decade, 15 years.
Family.
All the nice people, all the family people, all the nice hard workers, all the smiling folks, the religious church going individuals, the ones that don't curse, and you got a chance to get what seems to be a jerk in your organization, a complete jerk that don't care about nothing right now but him and his brand. Don't care about nothing but what's best for Ace. He don't care about nothing else right now. Look, history may not speak the best to it, but that tells me that somebody's either confident or delusional, maybe a little bit of both. Pelicans need more delusion. They need more confidence. They need more self-centered basketball players like that. That, you can do without some of the off-court stuff, but they need more people like that. I think it might be perfect. And if anyone can possibly grow, if there's anyone that knows how to handle somebody like this, that's been around these kind of personalities, that's been around these kind of individuals over time, it's Joe Dumars.
It's crazy, Joe.
That. This isn't an asshole like Anthony Edwards, who was the last guy to not go to workouts, right? Anthony Edwards didn't go to workouts. But when you watch Anthony Edwards tape from Georgia, he pops off the screen. Like you saw it, the athletic superiority of Anthony Edwards. You were looking at that, and he came in built like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Edwards looked 21 when he was 18. You look at Ace Bailey, the height problem, the not great ball handling, the shot selection, the lack of defensive intensity, the lack of leadership, the inability to finish, unless he's been given a straight line. He didn't make the kind of impact. And at least half of his games, he made more bad plays than good plays. That to me is just disturbing. His decision making, all those things on court. I'm fine with jerks. I'm fine with them. Give me jerks. I'm cool with that. But you better be able to play. And I think when I feel like Ace, man, look, if people talk about hate, man, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm talking about basketball. I don't think he's he's an overrated basketball player. And I think he got told that he was one of the top 3 players, and he played like it was in the bag. And that's a problem for me. Don't play like it's in the bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know, if you're going to not do the interviews and stuff, then have the tape that's irrefutable. And I don't think Ace Bailey's tape is irrefutable. Like, I think he still had things that he needed to prove in workouts. Can you be coached? Can you interact with people on that kind of level? Because if you're going to be the franchise player, then damn it, we need to talk. You know what I'm saying? If you really want this, you ain't got to go to everybody. If there are still teams that you thought of, if you had a list, then you needed to go talk to them and say, I don't want to play for those guys. That's fine, because you know I hate the draft in general. I hate it by principle. But if you're going to go, if you have 3 teams that you want to go for, then go to Washington and talk to him. Go talk to Joe Dumars. Show him and tell him, I'm taking that spot. I'm not waiting for it. I'm taking for it, and I want you to jump up and grab me and take me with pause. I want you to jump up and select me for your team and make me your franchise player. But I don't. That's the stuff about Bailey that bothers me. Not skipping it on its own, but it's the whole thing in totality, and the fact that he didn't raise the floor of that team. And, you know, you look at Dylan Harper, it's just more consistency. You just see better decision making. Like for Ace, feels like the ups are up, but those lows are pretty low.
There was, well said, Grub. There was a report though today, Chris, allegedly saying that there was a private workout. Ace did attend a private workout, and the report was saying it was something along the lines of a city known for jazz.
It's supposed to be New Orleans and Washington. It's supposed to be.
Chris, do you think that he did a work? Because we've all talked about, or the reports saying that Joe Dumars loved Ace Bailey. Those were the initial reports that they would trade up for him. Now you're starting to hear more and more smoke today as the draft gets closer. Do you think that Ace Bailey held a workout with the Pelicans?
Man, I don't think the rumor came out of nowhere. I mean, I think once the draft is over, you will probably hear about the few teams that he secretly worked out with, or maybe talked to, or his handlers were in constant communication with. And Grub, I say this. You know what's funny? I don't disagree with anything you said. I think you're 100% right. I mean the tape.
DC got some nice jazz clubs.
Do they?
Yeah, DC got some nice jazz clubs. I don't know if it's known for jazz. My bad, Chris.
I mean you're fine. At the end of the day, though, it speaks to I just think regardless of where this thing ends, regardless what happens with Ace, if we are talking about this organization, I would like more people with that mentality. Whoever they are going to get with that first pick, I'm looking less at skill set, fit, potential, mentality. Fears, I'm not a big Fears fan, but he has a mentality about him that I could see working out going for. I like Derik Queen because I like the attitude and the mentality he plays with on the floor. Ace didn't play with he didn't play with the attitude that he seems to be showing behind the scenes right now, but that speaks to me and what this team needs. Maluak, I've never heard him talk, but he has an imposing frame as a center that's going to give this should probably help a defense have some kind of force or mental. I sound like Willie Green now. They should have some kind of mentality behind it.
Oh my God! If I could force one more fucking time. My God!
Mentality, man.
Is Maluak the starting center if you draft him at 7?
Oh God!
Not immediately.
I think so.
I think
whoa! It's not a resounding yes. You see, this is my problem. Is it a resounding like? Is it debatable?
I think you better make them, because to me, I think that's why to me, like with center, it's one of these dudes every year, bro. I feel like, and I almost feel like center by committee is a better way to go in certain instances, just because I'm thinking about his salary as the number 7 pick, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of high for a center in today's climate, really. But also, This as it pertains to Ace, because again, Ace could be gone by this next pick. At pick 3, he could be gone. But what I think about as far as Ace and how they're handling things, I'm not really looking at it from a basketball standpoint. I'm looking at it more from a second contract standpoint. I'm looking at it like, even if I go to a bad team, I want to be Bradley Beal on a bad team. I want to be the rich motherfucker who like the king of the land. If I'm Ace, if I go to Brooklyn, if I go to Washington, or wherever I go, if I go to a team that's going to give me like the runway to be all I can be or whatever, I know I'm going to get some endorsements. I know I'm going to get a nice second contract, or I can be Kuminga. Because that's really the dynamic to me. If I'm like, well, damn, you're going to send me here and you're going to kind of stifle me, like what I can do. And this is the unapologetic game when it comes to that money. Like, people are like, oh, well, that's too bad, sucker. Like, you can go find somebody else to pay your ass. So I don't know. It's just really interesting. It could go a number of ways, of course. I wouldn't be upset with Malawak whatsoever. Personally, I think now I'm starting asking, who's my starting 7? To me, what's more important than starting at 5 is who's starting at the 4. Because I'm like, wait a minute. I got one dude who don't rebound especially well in Misi, right? I'm 29th in the league in rebounding. I can't expect Malawak to just come and solve that problem. I'm still too small in the front court. Even with Malawak, I still need a legitimate rebounding power forward. Zion isn't a power forward. Trey isn't a power forward. Poole and Zion, they pretty much got the backcourt locked up. So now who I'm getting at the 4? So to me, it just there's a lot of questions. This is
though. Can I say something real quick?
21 minutes a game.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Go ahead, Grub. Go ahead.
When we talk about this center by committee thing, who's the committee in Oklahoma City? Chet Holmgren ain't no committee. Chet Holmgren was a huge difference maker at center for the Thunder. Indiana, they ain't playing center by committee. Miles Turner was their center and their starter all year long. Last year, when the Celtics won the championship, Porzingis was their center. They had Al Horford as the backup, but Porzingis was their center. The year before, we keep going back, every one of these teams that won a championship has had a legitimate starting center that they could count on night in and night out. Hartenstein played the 4. They started together. They didn't, but Chet is the 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these teams are this is where we are. Jokic is the center. You know what I'm saying? Like all these teams in Minnesota, Gobert is the center. In New York, Karl Anthony Towns is the center. So every team that we're talking about that made it deep in the playoffs, they didn't have no center committee. They had a starting center who had potential to make an all-star team legitimately on their team. So where's the center by committee thing?
Well, I said as far as like, let's say, for example, Chet missed his entire first year. But Chet was like rumored to be number 2. What did he go number 2? He went number 2, right? So
Chet, yeah.
I think he went 3.
He went 2. I think Jabari went 3.
Chet went 2.
So, and they kind of saw like, wait a minute, Chet a little too light in the pads. Let's go get Hartenstein. And like a lot of again, Miles Turner, he's pretty terrible, but he helped him get there. But he was pretty terrible. The Cat and Brunson thing didn't really work. Gobert got played off the floor again. It's in all but these is like
no, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Bro, you asked the question. I'm asking the question.
But you're not being truthful. I don't like you're not being truthful. You're not being truthful.
But bro, this is not a right or wrong thing. This is my opinion.
But you're not being truthful. You can have your opinion, that's fine, but you're not being truthful.
But
Cat was an all-star. They were talking about him as an MVP candidate.
No,
Cat
bro,
get you to the Eastern Conference.
I'm talking about, bro, all the teams you just named, you represented in the playoffs. I'm talking about in the playoffs, Mitchell Robinson was the most effective big in the playoffs.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, in the first 2 rounds, Cat was doing everything for that team.
Mitchell Robinson wasn't really around like that until later in the playoffs. He's coming off an injury. But the point I'm making is, again, all of these guys, this would be like Cat's 3rd or 4th time kind of being just a little bit less effective in the playoffs. But I think even with these high price centers, Jared Allen, we kind of go down the list. Mobley didn't really get the love he should have gotten at opportunities. He should have
gotta stop it here real quick.
Got a big trade.
No, VJ Edgecombe goes 3 to the Sixers.
Oh yeah,
that's predicted.
Yeah, they gotta get rid of McCain though. Call us up.
Go ahead, Chaz.
Yeah, but that's why I just think even when you look at all those bigs, they all were paired with stretch fours and stretch fives. Nash Reed with Gobert, Thomas Bryant, and Turner's a stretch five himself. Cat, the ultimate stretch five. Evan Mobley with Jared Allen.
You're changing the discussion. We're talking about committee. You changing the discussion. You changing it.
Bro. Two people is a committee, bro. More than one person is a committee. Bro.
Everybody's got a backup.
No,
everybody's got a backup.
Not really the Pelicans. It was Bruce Brown. So
bro, what I'm saying is, again, I'm saying the isolated single dominant big, that's not really a thing anymore. Like Steven Adams, Jack Londale, Sagoon, Looney.
Shagun is an all-star. Shagun's
but I'm saying but the point is it's a committee, bro. That's the point.
It's not a committee. It's a starter with reserves. Every team has starters and reserves. The starter is playing 30 plus minutes. It's not a committee. A committee is 3 guys Adams playing 15 to 20 minutes.
Did Steven Adams start with Sagoon?
No.
Who started with Sengun? Or who started at the 4?
Jabari
6'10". That's big by committee.
He's playing the 4. That's a whole different position. He's playing the 4.
Chris, we're 32 minutes in already.
Right. So
I can't wait to who we select. I can't wait to see who we select. Make sure you special like button 450 people here. Appreciate y'all. Go ahead, Chris. Shout out John Deere.
So if you ask, does he start? Yeah, I mean, you asked if Malawak is ultimately your pick, does he start? And what I'm interested to see about him and where his career goes, it's a dude that last year only played 21 minutes a game.
So fuck, man, he's only been playing for 4 years.
Right, but here's what I'm saying. This is why, for me, I'm less concerned about if he starts or not.
I think part of the story.
I don't.
You don't care, Chris?
If he starts, no.
What
is he impacting games?
Let me ask this: Can you find a center? Let me ask this: Can you find a center in the late teens to early 20s that can do this, like that can impact a game? At the center position, do you believe that? There's always one, right?
Not defensively.
You don't think like Wolf could? Because Wolf rebounds better, and Wolf has the same amount of blocks.
Wolf does not rebound better. Y'all keep doing the totals. It's not. It's the average. It's the percentage. And he played more minutes. Wolf played more minutes.
Why did Malawak play?
Not because 20. Malawak was playing 21 minutes because Duke was winning every game by 30. Nobody on Duke's roster was playing 30 minits a night. Nobody.
Don't make me fact check you, bro. Now I'm going to have to go look at the Duke schedule. All right, hold up.
So who is this?
Because
that does concern me. He played 21 minutes.
About Malawak is that, like, when I look at a lot of the other bigs in this draft class, he is being compared to guys that play 30 minutes a night. I don't know what that speaks to in regards to his future in a positive or a negative manner. But when you look at a lot of the other guys that we're talking about dudes that played a lot more than him on the floor, were they as impactful? I do know a majority of them are in 7'2" with a 9, whatever the hell it is, standard reach.
Yeah, crazy wingspan.
Right, in the wingspan, I do know that they're not he's going to be a dunker spot dream, because you're just not getting people that's just getting up there. If you throw the ball up higher enough, they're more than likely. And he's also a plus free throw shooter for someone who will be in those situations.
76.5.
Well, what else? I see you get on John.
Carl.
Yeah, what's going on, Lito? So I'm not. I mean, again, it's a safe. I think the allure with Malawak should be, to me, even if you feel like it's safe, is that he probably has one of the safest floors that I think I could pick, or I could choose out of the guys that they're gonna pick at 7. What that turns into in regards to ceiling, I don't think the ceiling is all that great. I mean, if I don't imagine his offensive game being.
Do you think he's a better prospect than Klingon?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I do.
No, I don't.
That's just me. I think Klingon is a great player. I do. I like Klingon a lot, but I think
Grub, you really think Malawak is a better prospect than Klingon?
Where did Klingon get drafted at?
Klingon
I don't
got
think it's
7 or 8.
miles ahead.
Yeah.
But I think he is better. I think he is. That's just my thought. And it may be because I watched more of Malawak this year because I'm an ACC guy. So, I watch Big Ten and ACC more than others. So that may be why. But I don't think it's a big gap. But on the 30 minutes, only Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple played 30 minutes. And they played like 30, just over 30. Everybody else on the team is 21, 25, 13, 14, 14, 10, 15. So
let me ask you,
hold on. I'm sorry, Justin. I don't mean to stop your wisdom, God. But we got 459 people in the building. Can we get some likes, please? Can we get the likes up? Shout out to everybody in the building. I hope y'all staying safe on this draft day.
Chung, this is.
What's up, my dog Chung? I ain't seen Chung in a minute.
What's up, Chung? Yeah.
Wow.
He's taking off the summer, Chaz.
Okay.
He's too good for us now. Yeah, he's taking off the summer. Does it scare you, Leo, that Malak only played 21 minutes a night? Like who just got why? Why do you play only 21 minutes a night?
I'm not a fan. I can.
Grub, do you really think it was sorry, Leo? You really think it's because they're up 30 all the time? Because they were in the ACC schedule and everything like that. I don't see a reason why he played 21 minutes a night if he was dominant or if he was this rim protecting god, all this other kind of stuff. If he was that good, he would stay on the court. Right? Am I crazy for thinking that?
Remember, Duke played 2 units. They played the big unit with Malawak, and then they played the smaller group, their lineup of death defensively when they really wanted to push teams and run them off the floor. So, when they needed stops, if you get into the running game, again, it's just, it was different styles. But in the ACC, when they won their 20 games in a row, remember they didn't lose a game from December to March?
Yeah.
When they were in that, I think only 2 teams in the ACC were within 10 points of them.
And again,
21 minutes against Houston.
I'm about to pass lead. With the league, with the pace being greater than ever in the NBA right now, it's Rudy still does this thing.
Wow. Sorry. At 4.
Justin, you just spoiled it. Con Knipple. I called it.
That's cool.
He's the only one that would come work out for him.
That's fine. Trey right there.
Yo, that's great. So that means either, that don't mean that. Never mind. Fuck. That means it's gonna come down to Trey Johnson or Malawak or Noah. Because I tell y'all, they gotta make this deal happen with the Jazz, bro. The Jazz make too much sense, dog.
Before we get into let's get to Lito's thoughts on
my bad, Leo.
Malawak.
Listen, I did a show about him. My thoughts are well documented. His hype in the blocks per game don't add up for me. I don't see this. Listen, I'm not saying he trash. I'm just saying for me, I don't see it. I don't see it. He's I don't know. What you about to say?
Wait, where you saw that pick at? Just I don't see that nowhere.
What?
Yeah, I don't see it neither, Justin.
Justin, you might have just.
You got Centel?
Oh, damn, Justin.
Fucking right. Justin
I didn't get Centel. He got picked by 4. I'm not Lito. Okay, I'm a professional.
He got picked by 4.
I checked my.
Oh no, Mike Scotto. Damn,
Scotto,
I told y'all, man. Shout out to Shams, but Shams for no.
So now, available board. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, that means Fears, either
Fears,
one of
Johnson, Bailey,
Johnson, or Bailey
Malawak
be available.
That's look. If Trey Johnson falls to 7, damn, Con went 4.
I'm fine with Trey. I'm fine with Trey Johnson too.
Perfect. That was yes, absolutely.
What the fuck does Ace Bailey have on?
Bro, he went in his grandfather's closet. He went in his grandfather's closet, who's been gone from this earth for 20 years, and he decided that was the suit that he would. I don't know what Ace got dressed in the dog tonight. I don't know what the hell happened.
Is he wearing wrestling boots? What the fuck is going on?
I'm just start using that.
I'm just scared to death of Trey Johnson. I see Buddy Hills. Like, he got some game though. Motherfucker could have become Jamal. He could become Jamal Murray.
Hey,
You
but
never
look,
know.
Chaz, Jamal. I mean, what's his name? Buddy, like top 30 all time in threes.
I think it's more than that, Lito.
Yeah,
right. It was like crazy. But
Man,
is Blue Crew Stat
didn't
Guy
see
not here? How is Blue
Probably
Crew
not.
Stat Guy not here? One of the biggest nights of the year.
I just see him having such a low upside. Like, damn. I think some
he's
people
going
like
to
he
Utah.
better than Jordan Hawkins. It's like, all right.
That ain't hard to beat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
That ain't
shit.
hard to beat if that's your bar.
Bro, foul.
Yeah, it's tough.
Joe
So,
Dumars better than
I think he's
Jordan
going to
Hawkins.
Utah, man. So I don't,
Who that?
I
We'll
think
see.
he's going to Utah
Bears?
too. I think Trey going to Utah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And then that would mean the Wizards would, man, would the Wizards take Bailey? They take
I think
they
would.
If,
They would.
The
That's
Wizards
a
to
got
me-
fact.
Washington will.
Hey, because they got a lot
That's
of
his
defense.
backyard.
They got a lot of
Yeah.
defense too. With Bob and Sar and yeah, bro.
That would be interesting because I can see the Wizards jumping the shark though, honestly. Because the CJ trade didn't make a ton of sense. So I can see them saying, you know what we need? We need Malawat. We're gonna have Twin Towers. We're gonna have SARS and Malawat. Now it would be interesting. I ain't going to no games, but it would be interesting.
But they got to sell some tickets. They don't have it. They don't have a guy, that American-born player that people rally around. That's why I think the Wizards take Bailey's, because they need somebody to sell some tickets, and he could get his star treatment right there. Because the Wizards ain't, like the
Yeah.
Wizards are looking for somebody to just fill it up. That's what they gave away their main bucket guy. Chris Middleton is there. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody at the small forward spot in Washington to keep Bailey from getting shots.
And I saw Fears get some John Wall comps. So
I
hey,
seen that too. Russell Westbrook too. I don't see either.
oh, I don't
Is
see
he-
that at all. Not West.
I don't
He
see
ain't
that
that
either.
kind of explosive.
No,
I don't see either.
I don't see either. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see
Yeah.
either one of
Like
them.
John Wall and Russell Westbrook, two of the greatest athletes at point guard we've ever had.
I see Jeff Teague.
Athletes. Right.
Bro,
I mean,
can I
I get the. I mean, I guess if you saying as the way he dribbles the ball downhill and how strong he is, I see the Russ element there. But they totally different athletes.
Can I hate for a second on the Spurs?
Mhm.
One more thing.
I understand. I understand taking the best player available. I really do. Like, in that case, but like I just really don't. I'm curious to see Castle and Harper together. Like
And Fox.
and Fox. I mean, granted, like obviously De'Aaron ain't gonna be that much longer. I totally get it. It's a move for the future. I just like you. I don't know.
Can I say one thing?
I wish I had that kind of luck. Is really all I'm trying to say. Bro, let's get Castle. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing because I think it's important to mention this, and we all talked in the group chat. I'm just glad Joe Dumars did not package 7 and 23 to move up to 4.
Hold
Like,
up.
whatever that report was.
Willie Green said that?
That was
The
Tweet Ticket beat
segue
something.
did seem
Wait,
like
wait.
it was a Willie Green thing.
No,
wait.
Lito. I'm not wasting.
No,
this
Justin,
big night
no,
on Willie Green.
we
No,
not-
I'm not
no,
doing it. I'm
we
not talking
cannot
about him. No,
Justin.
I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to
Justin.
talk about him. I don't want to hear his
Oh, okay.
name. What?
God damn, that's. Oh,
I don't wanna
well,
hear
I
that.
need the name of
sorry.
Borrego's agent. This motherfucker. he
So
got a
yeah,
bunch of
they
interviews.
didn't package 7 and 23 to move up to 4.
Now they didn't do it before, but who said they want to do it for 5 or 6?
Now, yeah. So here, this is an interesting
I'm
pick.
really
to
curious
me.
what Brooklyn's doing.
Yeah, they have like 6 picks.
Yeah, they tripping.
They got to
Because they-
trade some of the picks, right?
You gotta think.
Who's taking 5, 6?
Yeah, but I
You
thought they
gotta
would have done it by
consolidate.
now.
I
They got,
do
wait,
too.
they got 6
No,
first round picks?
Well, you know
They're
what?
5, huh?
Yeah, 5.
5
you know
first
what?
round, 6 total. I think.
I remember when
Oh,
Jameer
I'm
Nelson got drafted, like, because they had a reality show. I go back and watch it on YouTube. He got drafted by the Nuggets, and he took his pictures. He did all his whole thing, and then he got traded a little while after to the Magic. So A lot could happen. You know, they probably gonna like even when we drafted Nerlens Noel, we traded him a little while later to for Drew.
Philly.
So it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be interesting.
Hey, Chaz, you know who dressed Ace Bailey? Jarrell Charles did.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that makes sense.
He looked like 2750 right now.
I said
Ace looks disgusted right now.
I said he either dressed like Ace in boots or Ace in the boot. Because this dude got some thigh highs on. I don't know what's going on.
Presented by John
Let me
D.
ask y'all a
4D.
question.
Shout out 4D. Blue Moon.
What's up, bro?
Let me ask y'all a question. When y'all talk about Derik Queen, do y'all see any Jahlil Okafor in his game or in his career?
I think the Jazz just took Ace Bailey.
Did it?
They took.
You sure? Where are you seeing that, Chris? Oh, maybe they did.
I thought they took Trey. They ain't take Trey?
No. Wait. Yeah. Jazz take Ace Bailey. Wait, didn't he not want to go to? He didn't want to go to.
That's for now though. Who they draft don't really matter until it's over.
So we're gonna. Yep.
That's
Fears.
Weird, that means Fears
Johnson.
or I think Fears
Malawak.
going to Washington though. That was my initial call.
They're gonna take Malawak.
Oh yeah.
Who that? Who, Utah?
No, the Pelicans. They're gonna take Malawak.
I can't watch the take.
I think Washington taking Fears.
Yeah, it's that.
Unless it's a trade or something.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's the two positions they don't have. They don't have a point guard. They ain't gonna let CJ play point.
Because unless Shams and Fisher and all these guys
this is not a final. There's obviously trades that happen. No, there's obviously. I'm sorry, Grub.
But I think for the Wizards, it makes sense to take Fears because they can afford. Yeah, they can afford to lose with Fears. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no pressure for him to have the ball on day one. Because, again, I think point guard is the most difficult position to transition from college to the NBA. So they don't have to have him take the point on day one. They've got other guys to handle the basketball, and they can let him make mistakes with the second unit while they lose because they're setting themselves up again to be in the lottery next year. Like I said, nobody understands how they're building this team right now. They're trying to get back into the lottery next year.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask y'all this, but it looks like this has been confirmed. So I was asking if their trade happens, say the Pelicans take someone at 7, they trade. When would that trade happen? It would probably happen at the pick. But according to Jonathan Giveni of Draft Express, the Jazz are keeping Ace Bailey.
Well,
so there will be no trade. Obviously things.
I think we just got to see. Because think about this. This was supposed to be a ton of activity in the top 10. So far, there's been no activity. So either everybody was lying, which they could have been, or it just hasn't happened yet. So that's why, to me, until I see them walk in the training camp, everything's on the table.
Yeah, I appreciate the super
chat. The best thing that could happen for the Pelicans is somebody
appreciate all the super chats, guys,
before they could get them.
So no Ace Bailey to New Orleans.
But please, Washington, take Malawak. Take Malawak.
Please take Malawak, bro.
But damn, watch the Pelicans do just what I want them to do. They're gonna draft.
So it's gonna come down to Trey Johnson and Malawak.
And I tweeted like a week ago. I was like, if they take Malawak over Johnson, I'll be sick.
You gonna have another Messi moment? You gonna lose it?
No, I won't.
You know what was tough
because Grub actually. I actually listening to Grub, like I'm okay with Malawak now. But he's got to start for me.
What's tough with me about Trey is kind of like when I watch his game, I don't see anything that makes me say, well, if he just does this, he gonna take the next step. Because I'm like, he's pretty slow, and like his build, like just how he moves and stuff like that. I'm like, players with that particular build aren't especially explosive. So maybe he's just a crazy scorer, like somebody's like Hollywood Steve say, like Booker at some point. But I'm just like, whatever. Like, whatever. Just don't do nothing crazy, bro. Just don't take Queen at 7.
I really can't believe no one traded up for Ace. With all that smoke, man.
Not yet.
There's a lot of reports. I mean, even Jake Fisher's confirming that there's not going to be a trade.
Hey.
So who Washington getting? What the over under? What we got?
I think they get.
Man, I always thought it was going to be the 10s through 20s where all the drama was.
You know what I just thought about? It would. I don't think they would do
Hold
it.
on, we gotta
I
stop
wouldn't
it.
do it.
Make sure you hold up. Make sure you smash the like button. There's 600 people in here, and then we've gifted 5. Too slow. Appreciate you. Gifted 5.
Thank you,
Boot
Too
Crew
Slow.
Media memberships. Appreciate you as well. Appreciate everyone in the chat that's joined the stream. Go ahead, Chaz.
What I was about to say was, I think it's a lot easier for you to go out and get another front court player via trade, because as it stands today, you already got too many perimeter players. Like, some of them do a little more than others, but just on the roster and guaranteed money, you already got about too many. So a couple of them got to go. Maybe 3 too many. A couple of them got to go. So if you draft someone now, just looking at the books, you draft someone at 7, they're making about like 8 million, something along those lines. You got about 18. You're about 15 million away from the tax line right now. Before you waive Peyton and Boston, they got to make moves, because you still don't have a starting center. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. So Lito, how do you feel? I think this is a record of 618 people in at one time. This damn, that was kind of crazy. I paused that. 618 though. It's gotta be a record, right?
Wow,
Appreciate y'all, man. Lito, how do you like the board falling right now for the Pelicans?
I think it's fine, man. I think it's fine. I mean, obviously it depends on what Washington does. But I mean, Ace was my first potential pick that I wanted the Pelicans to get. So if Ace, Trey, if Trey falls to 7, like I'm fine with it. I don't know if anybody followed my tweets, but like I said, if the Pels get Queen, I'm fine. I don't want Queen at 7. I'm not saying at 7, but if he ends up falling to the Pelicans, like I'm cool with that at 23. I think he's still like, yeah.
It was
Hey, Justin, I'm moving past.
What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
Honestly, you know what? Even if I'm not a huge fan of Fears, but I would welcome that pick.
Why?
Just like an actual the hype that surrounded Jaden when he was in college, like Fears to me, like that same kind of speed. He's probably not as shifty as Jaden, but the jumper still scares me. Shout out to Grub, 28%. Like I'm terrified of that. But I think like having that type of young enthusiasm and exciting player in a backcourt, like I'm cool with that, bro. Like,
so Lito, can I counter argument real quick?
Yeah,
because I love Trey's one of the smartest followers we have with his comments. Willie Green still has to play Trey Johnson and still has to play Jeremiah Fears. Do you think he will play them, or do you think Joe Dumars like, no, you have to play him?
I don't think Willie Green got the security not to play guys right now, especially with this. Now that CJ is gone, nah, I think that to me, that was like, the old guard is out of here. You don't trade for a person who's as polarizing as Jordan Poole, and you think you're not about to, like, there's not a new day around this bitch. And no, another thing, Jordan Poole thing, Aaron Miles on the roster. Aaron Miles coached Jordan Poole in Summer League, one of his developmental coaches.
Was it taking Trey Johnson?
Yeah! Yes! Yes!
I don't think he's taking Fears. Because, I mean, like, Fears feels like for the Pelicans. Feels like Fears with the Pelicans ends up like Kyra Lewis. Like, it just, Willie is, like, I don't see the change. It feels like Joe Dumars, the thing he's going to do with a coach is step back. Like,
God, we're
me,
so getting Mal away.
like, the one thing he's not going to do is get in the coach. He's going to let the coach live and die on his own, in my opinion, because I think Joe feels like coach has got to coach. He's old school in that regard. Coach has got to coach. Now, if you fail, he don't have no problem getting rid of you, as we saw. He got rid of a lot of coaches during his time. But I don't think he'll be in Willie Green's back pocket telling him who he needs to play, because we saw that with Griff. Griff tried to give edicts on who was going to play, and Willie still didn't listen to those. You know what I'm saying? Like, Griff wanted guys to get.
Willie don't listen to anybody, bro.
Wait, are we gonna put on the watch party thing now?
No, you can't. No.
Oh,
no. It's copyright. No.
But
So yeah, Trey Johnson goes 6. So now you got Malawak or Fears, or do you think there's a surprise of Queen?
But see,
Is
I
there
got
any shot of
not.
Queen?
But
Yes.
I see the Fears thing as kind of like
Wizards Trey Johnson, right?
oh shit. I think by the time Fears is getting significant minutes, Willie's gone, and a few more people are gone. Unless he shows tremendous potential out the gate, he's so young and so raw as a prospect.
You can screw a kid up early.
Yeah, but it's like it's like well, shit. You
can
know,
screw a kid up early.
It's
you can
it's one of
screw a
those
kid's
things.
career up real fast.
I gotta make
out
this.
of the league like that.
I gotta make this announcement. So 660 people in here, definitely a new record for us. So if you're
675.
new here, 675. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We go live almost after every game. If you're new here, we have 5 shows a week. Grub goes Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We're live on Wednesdays and Sundays. We have membership shows. So appreciate all the support. Make sure you smash that like button, share the stream as well. It helps out the channel. And the Pelicans are officially on the clock with Fears and Malawak still available. Chris, who they go with?
I mean, I'm gonna stick with what I said earlier, Fears, and I think they'll they're either A, still trying to package 23 and something to move up to be in the Derik Queen conversation, or they'll draft a big at 23 or whatever that second pick turns into. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with ultimately it being Fears, even though Malawak makes or a big period at this point makes the most sense considering they just traded another one away and it's so crowded at the backcourt. But I'm gonna go with Fears being the pick.
I
think you know that's one of the more disappointing things about them keeping Willie, because it's like you kind of just want to move on from that old regime and their old mistakes because it's either a new era or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm kind of just like, look, man, you need dynamic guard play. I think Fez is a small guard. I think the upside is there because he's so young. If he was like 19 or something or 20, I'm easy pass to me. But I do think that you do have to make some upside plays. It's not necessarily drafting for need, because if Jordan Poole works out, if Zion works out, then you got some positional versatility, because neither one of those guys are like necessarily point guards for his lack of athleticism. And this is if we draft him, who knows? But his handle is the great equalizer, in my opinion, because he got the best handle in the draft by
by far.
Who that?
Jeremiah Fears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got the best handle in the draft by far. So for his lack of burst and lack of athleticism, I think earlier in the year he was finishing at a better clip. So I'm just hoping, man, you better get in that lab with Kyrie or get in the lab with Zion. And
Lito, do you worry about the shooting percentages for Fears?
Hell yeah. Terrified.
I thought just absolutely hell yeah. But then the terrified, really.
I mean, bro, he shot a whopping 29%. Like the line about to get further.
We got 700 people, 716 people in there. Shout out to y'all, man, for real. Shout out to all y'all on the stream. Shout out to Chaz, Chris, Lito, Grub, Ross. I put in all the hard work. You got Lala. Shout out to Lala. None of this is possible without Lala. And of course, shout out Jake. So Pelicans on the clock here.
Justin, can you answer Mark, please?
Kind of what?
Can you answer Mark?
Flight Mizark. He said,
my bad. My bad, bro. Between Fears and Malawak, give me Fears and then trade up and
get Queen.
Yeah, give me Fears.
To me,
right
I
now.
would give that an A+ draft.
I'll go Fears.
Because I still like Queen, but I just don't like him at 7. So if you got him at 13, I love it. You got him at 10, I love it.
Who you got a minute? You got a minute left.
You know the thing.
Yeah, why is this taking so long?
The thing that concerns me about Fears, again, more than anything, is the shooting. Yeah, the shooting is a problem, but he has a great free throw percentage, so maybe it gets better. That's always an indicator. But I worry about the turnovers. I think he led the nation in turnovers last year with 116, and Dylan Harper the difference, Dylan Harper had 70 turnovers.
Oh,
And Fears had 116 turnovers. Like that is a lot. And that's a
They took
big
Fears.
problem. Like you don't see, yeah, like you Pelicans took
Yeah,
Fears.
they took Fears.
they took Fears.
Yeah.
They took Fears.
That means
Boy,
they definitely
You know
traded
what?
up
You
to
know
big.
what? I'm glad they didn't fucking do what I thought they
Trade
were
up,
going to do.
yeah.
I'm
early,
I'm
though.
just glad. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Fears, welcome to New Orleans. Initial reaction, Grub, go first.
He said the concern for me is the turnovers. That's the thing he's going to have to fix first and foremost. I'm not as worried about the shot because it feels like the Pelicans are trying to build a running team now. Like that's what they want to build. So if you have enough guys who are going to push the tempo, and I think Fears will do that, absolutely, because the comparisons to Kyrie Irving have been there. He's just not the shooter that Kyrie was, and nobody's the finisher that Kyrie is. But I think if that's what you're going to get in 2 to 3 years, yeah, this is one of those you are projecting past Willie. You are projecting as a guy who can be. You have to develop him, and I think that's always the concern for anybody in the Pelicans take who have maybe their floor is lower, because I think his floor is going to be low his rookie year. He's not going to be a guy that you can start at any point, I don't think, this season. But you better find him minutes. But I think his floor is lower, and if his ceiling is higher, then they've got to focus so much. This is a kid that probably needs to be in the G League, quite honestly. Like he needs to get reps, and he needs to make better decisions, and he can't turn that basketball over at the NBA level. So I think if they can get him a lot of minutes in the G League early and let him do that, I think that's the best thing for him. But I'm not mad at this pick. As much as I like Malawak, I think now, okay, you took your shot at 7, then make your more steady pick. Because I think that's what they said, right? Joe Dumars said with 1, he was probably going to take a risk, and with 1, he was going to be a little more safe. Okay, now you can be safe with the big, and I'll be fine with that. But I think you did a good job. I'm fine with Fears. I think the upside is there. It's just, the concerns are, can the Pelicans develop him?
Yeah.
I got a great shirt out there. I'm saying it now just in case if people try to trademark it. Snooze, you lose. My new Jeremiah Fair slogan, the show no fear, show no fear. I'm pushing that. Shirts coming soon. You understand me? I think it's very important to keep in context. This is pick 7. It's pick 7. It's New Orleans. Dude, he's reclassified as a senior or whatever, however that shit went. Got some upside. I think, again, when you look at a guard who probably will get some PT, I think it also probably expedites Willie Green getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because, you ain't got the, like, let's say with Malawak or Noah, you ain't got the built-in excuse where he just started playing basketball. This motherfucker's playing soccer. He was on the swim team. Like, no, this dude needs to play. He's a real basketball player. We drafted him 7. We got invested interest in this dude. You need to put him out there, Willie, and you playing around. And then who you gonna play over him? Fucking Jose. That's why I think Jose probably up out of here. I think again, there's another perimeter guy. So your perimeter just got a little bit crowded, especially when you consider certain skill sets. I think you with this, I'm not looking to give horse in the mouth too much. I'm just saying, like, before the Poole pick, I think people probably would have traded people. I think people probably would have been a little bit happier with it. But I also think that with the addition of Poole, how great he is in transition, combo guard, better handle skills than CJ at this age and at this point. I think that it lessens the responsibility of a Fears early on. Like, you're not looking for him to join the team and be like you're not looking for him to be Kyra or even Dyson, because I didn't think Kyra was very skilled.
He's gonna have to get
athleticism.
He's gonna have to get some playing time. Chris, and then lead up Fears thoughts.
Well, first, we got 721 people in here, which is 100% a record.
100%. Welcome,
100%
welcome, Jeremiah Fears to New Orleans. Go ahead.
So, yo, man, shout out to all of y'all in the chat, man, experiencing this with us live. So I figured, I just figured that the draft would eventually turn this way, and this would ultimately be the pick. I'm glad that they didn't go too safe or too simple. I think it is a swing of sorts taking someone like Fears. And again, bro, he's 18 years old. Currently, I think he turns 19 in September. He played in the toughest conference in basketball, one of the toughest conferences in basketball in the SEC, and produced. And for someone at that age, at that size, that's telling about his mind and his mental. And I do like that element of it. I don't like that he can't. Of course, he's not a plus shooter right now. I don't like that he averages, I believe, 4 turnovers a game, and I don't like that he's 6'3", 180 pounds. I'm not a fan of small guards. I've never really been. But I like the upside pick, and I agree that Lito, Ivory Grubbed, Chaz, we talked about somebody that's gonna be available at 23 or higher if they do ultimately move up. They could put a ribbon on this draft if they trade up and get another high quality lottery-ish prospect, or we'll see who falls to them or who will be available around 23. So I like the upside. I'm not a huge fan necessarily of the guy like some are, but I respect the message that I think it sends, and I like them taking the risk or the swing of sorts.
So, Leo, before I get to your thoughts, one thing I like when I'm watching college basketball, which I don't necessarily watch a lot until it's March Madness, but I do take into account what did you do in the postseason, and that's the ACC tournament, or sorry, your conference tournament plus March Madness. In the postseason, Fears did average 25.5 points per game, shot 45% from the field and 38% from deep. Now, is that saying that's going to translate to the NBA? No, I'm just saying when I watched him in the SEC tournament, he was a very, very clutch player down the stretch. I watched him in the actual tournament. He was a very, very productive player. So I am intrigued here, Lito. I'm not saying this guy's a knockdown shooter, and he's got a long way to go, but there's what I like though, Lito, is that this pick wasn't expected. It wasn't the same. It wasn't this same old stale pick. I like that they just took a chance here on a kid that has tremendous upside.
I like the pick. I like the pick at 7. I mean, I think where you drafted at, I think you got good value. I have some notes on him, and before I get into the scoring, the rebounding, any of that, the one thing that this kid has that you really don't have a lot on the Pelicans team, he's charismatic. He has aura. His confidence is like literally oozing through the screen. Like you could just watch him dribble. That was crazy. You could just watch him dribble. He dribbles the basketball, and you can tell. Like, you ever go to a gym and like all the motherfucker got to do is just dribble a basketball, and you be like, damn, he hoop. Like he good. I you know what I'm saying? I don't really have to say nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like he has that type of vibe to him. He's got a very fluid dribble. He's got a precise handle. I'm with Grubb on the turnovers though. He got to get better. He got to get a lot better real quick at the turnovers. He's making 19, right?
Yeah, super young.
He's making 19, so he's super young. I will say Chris said he's a small guy. He is not on the tallest side, but I will say he has a decent frame. He doesn't
6'4",
6'2". He's really 6'2".
Okay, 6'2", 180 is what they're saying. 6'2", 180. I'm just looking on ESPN.com.
6'2", 180.
He plays very strong though.
He plays strong. He finishes at the rim with either hand. Like he's got a good floater off glass. He's like he's a natural scorer. And him being so young, the thing that jumps out at you on the screen on the film, he's very solid in the pick and roll. Like he knows how to organize the pick and roll. He knows how to operate within that space.
What?
Brooklyn took Igor Denham. I didn't see that coming.
That's a crazy jump.
Wow.
I like it too, but that's a crazy jump.
Hey Justin, he also competes defensively. He competes.
That's all I care about.
He competes defensively, and even though he's 6'2", he rebounds well for a guard.
Chaz, one stat that I think you'll appreciate: got to the line 6.5 times last year, shot at an 85% clip. Gets downhill, gets to the rim, attacks the rim.
To me, that's a much greater. Can you hear me? To me, that's
you kind of froze. Sorry.
To me, that's a much greater indicator of efficacy in the NBA versus anything he's going to do from behind the arc. Because for one, I don't need you to be a sniper this year. But two, I done drafted a bunch of snipers who wasn't shit when they got here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got real tangible basketball guard skills. You can score in a number of ways. He gets to the line, something that this team sorely missed. That's why it was such a revelation when Trey was getting to the line. It was such an issue when BI wasn't getting to the line as much. Again, real young. I watched a lot of film on him. Really strong going to the rim. Reminds me a lot of Ja, not the athleticism, but the ability to kind of push and shove people off of him and move people out of the way. So to me, I really like the pick. I think, again, you had 7, the highest upside play left, in my opinion. And it's a lot easier. And you look at, even to me, I don't need him to play in the next year or two. Like, again, to me, my backcourt is solidified with Poole and Zion for now. Him getting some backup minutes, cool. But I'm not looking for him to be, a rookie of the year candidate. If he's playing too much, I'm thinking something that happened, like some weird shit that went down. But but you still got room to bring in veteran guards. You still got. There's a Jock Landale guy who I like. He was waived this year. Again, you can still trade up, get bigs later in this draft, get a big physical imposing wing, kind of trim some fat around this roster as far as salary. I think Hawkins is as good as gone. I think Jose is about as good as gone. And if they are like determined to make 3 picks.
Can I stop the sorry, Chaz, finish.
No, I was just about to say, if they are determined to make 3 picks, yeah, I don't know. Herb is crowded around this bitch. I don't know, and you make a lot of money. So I just don't know.
So I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith's word holds any weight, but I'm just saying he literally just said on air he's the second coming of Kyrie Irving.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Kyrie Irving could shoot, though. Kyrie Irving could shoot coming in. Like, that was the thing. And I think, I've said it too, is I think on the free throw percentage, that's an indicator that he'll get better. But Kyrie came in and was able to be a 20-point per game scorer after 1 year. Not even a full. Kyrie played, 15 college games, if that many?
I don't think
way
he
less.
He got drafted number 1.
I don't think he played that.
He got drafted number 1.
I think I have like 5.
So I don't think, if you talk about the second coming of Kyrie Irving, then I think that this was a kid generally considered to probably be the 10th best prospect if you're going by just the overall ratings of players. He was probably 10 on that list. So, I don't think I would put him at that high as Kyrie Irving. I think the expectations are completely different. But he has to be able to play by year 2 because you only got 3 years to decide. And the Pelicans can't let him fall behind the curve that much. If we talk, he needs to be on the same kind of path as a Colin Sexton, those types of guys. If you're not getting that kind of production, if he's not a 15-point per game scorer by year 2, then I think you messed up. Either you messed up in developing him or you took the wrong player.
So I don't know if that's the real Eves Missy. I don't know if he's in here or not. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Eve if that is.
Yeah, if you are here, man, shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Secondly, Kyrie Irving is don't do that. like don't do that, bro.
Don't put that on there, man.
Don't do that. Let that man play some NBA basketball first, please. We don't have to do that. He was good enough to be drafted 7th, right? Let's just see what he turns into.
I maintain if he's Jeff Teague, I'm thrilled. To me, you won. At 7 in this market, I don't really. Again, to me, you needed someone capable of giving you an A+. So if he turns into a one-time All-Star fringe, All-Star type caliber player at pick 7, I think you did well. Because to me, anything less than a A+ was to me, it don't make a difference. It really don't make a difference to me. To me, a guy who can, of course, he don't have Ja Morant's athleticism, of course not. But with that handle, he can get wherever he needs to go anytime he wants to get there. And if he's smart, but if he's smart about, getting to the line and manipulating defenses. Again, this dude supposed to be in his senior year. I genuinely like the pick. I think it's forward thinking because in my mind, I'm not worried about how this team looks with Spears and Zion. To me, I'm trying to find a path to Zion independence. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you tell me 3 years from now, Spears is a quality, like bona fide, real deal starting point guard, and I ain't got to deal with the Zion shit if I don't want to no more, cool. I want. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really tripping. And moving forward in other drafts, like he was probably the best guard left in this draft. Moving forward in other drafts, you got more size around the wing, especially at the age for this prospect.
So, Grub, Ronald actually brings up a good point. Would you trade up to get Malloy? Before we get to that, I don't know if that was the real Eves mystery or not. I'm not. Shout out to him. Who was hating? What were we hating on? I don't know what we were.
Nobody hates him.
Oh, okay. I don't know if he was talking in the chat or if he was talking to us, but I think we all were talking.
Because I think Chaz was talking about center options. Jacques Landale.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if it's Eve or not, but I mean, shout to Eve.
Hey, but listen, hold on.
Shout out to you, Eves.
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk negative about Eves. I like Eves. Saw him all last year.
Did you also have to say later or no?
I forgot what I was about to say.
Okay. Shout out to Eves. So this is actually an interesting question, Grub.
Would you say he wasn't talking to y'all? Eve, man. I'm trying to figure out, is this really you, Eve?
Join the show. Join the show. Pull up.
Lala confirm. You know what? He should just come on the show.
Come talk about Fears. Come talk about Fears.
This ain't Eve.
So Grub, is it a possibility that I don't know where we're at here in the draft now, but is it a possibility that the Pelicans could trade up now to get Malawai?
If you could, I would. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the guy you really like, if that's who I think
he's still there at 10. Because Colin Murray Boyles just went.
You see that, Chris?
Yeah, that's a jump. That's a jump.
My dog went to Toronto.
Who that?
Queen.
Colin Murray
Toronto is so weird. Toronto is so. It seems like they got a ton of these dudes, right?
They do.
Because doesn't Colin Murray Boyles remind you of Scotty Barnes?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Scotty Barnes isn't a great shooter.
He don't though.
Like, he's not the ball handler, but I'm saying, like, all these dudes are between 6'7" and 6'9" that they have. Like, it's
they have a type.
Because you got what on the perimeter? You talk about
tweeners.
Barrett.
Yeah.
You got Barrett out there. You got they're all small forwards. Everybody's a small forward, power forward like combo. Scotty Barnes plays the 3 and the 4. BI plays the 2, 3, and 4. Like, it's a very weird lineup for them, and they kept Pirtle, which is just it's. I think, like, everybody's trying to run. Yeah, I agree with my dog. Everybody is trying to create these really long athletic teams now that can run, and you can't run unless you can rebound. The thing that Eves does so great is an offensive rebounder. You need to help on the defensive glass. So I think Eves will welcome, again, if he's here or not here. I would say the same. He needs help. The man needs help, and I think to get a big, if you can move up without giving up anything, sure. If that's the guy you really want, but if you don't, if they're not sold on Malawak, I don't want them to do things that they're not 100% on. Like I said, if Fears is their guy, like Chris said, if that's your guy and you took your guy, be happy with your guy. If Malawak is not your guy, then don't jump up. But if they've got somebody, I'm fine with them taking another swing if that's what they want to do late, but you better take a swing on a big.
Is this not a reach? No, this is not a reach.
What is?
I think they had a couple of reaches back.
Colin, like, specifically.
Boyles.
Not for that team.
Maybe,
I don't think.
Not talent-wise.
Maybe it's a reach. Maybe it's a reach considering Malawak is still on the board, but I don't think it's a reach. I think he's a top 10 to top 12 big board talent. So if you got a plan for him, but he is 6'6". I think the weird thing about him is that he's a 6'6" power forward. He's a 6'6" big. They got 6'6" like wings or guards. Like CMB is he's just an undersized rebounding, playmaking plus type dude. It's gonna allow them to play smaller lineups. And my dog is right. You want it now everybody gonna be looking. Shout out to Ivory. Everybody gonna want their next Obi Toppin type big. Good luck. They ain't, but
Lito, I was
you know,
Lito, I was reading this report on fears. I know y'all did a great breakdown on it, but the one thing I kind of like though it says is that, of course, he's described as a gym rat with elite poise and leadership skills. But Grubb was talking about something I really wanted to talk about with fears. I don't necessarily like. I know that I've seen players from the draft go in to the NBA and become a better shooter. I've seen that. One thing that I do know that this team has missed for a long time is leadership. And if he can finally get a point guard that's a true leader of this team, I love that about fears. Now, my question though to you, Lito, is how do you as a player start limiting your turnovers? How do you get better in that regard, right? Because he averaged 3.1 turnovers last year. As Grubb said, I think it's the most in the nation. As a young player, what are some things that you can do to better that? Because is it all about reads? Is it about speed? Like what factors into turnover? Those the high rate turnovers.
It's reps. It's reps. He obviously he was a freshman playing college basketball. He never played the game like that pace of the game before, right? So the only thing, in order for him to fix his turnover issues, he just got to play, bro. He just got to keep playing, because the more he plays, the more he'll understand read and reacts. He'll understand what to do on the screen. He'll understand how defenses are playing him. It's just reps, and that's the one thing you can't substitute.
So just looking at it, Grubb, I went back and looked at Fears' games. Early on in the year, he had an 8 turnover game, had a 6 turnover game, a 5 turnover game. During the SEC run, he had, still too much as a point guard, but he had 3, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3. Then he had 1, 2, 5, and 1. And then the postseason had 2 against UConn in the loss.
Okay, he had 22 games out of 34, right? 22 out of 34, he had at least 3 turnovers, I believe. 22 out of 34.
It's way too much.
3 turnovers.
Way too much.
And
how do you cut that number down?
Yeah, I think it's just you gotta. I think for him, he has to. For point guards, the thing is, you have to be. The game has to be slow. Even no matter what speed you're moving at, you have to be anticipating things. I think he was a little careless and reckless with the basketball last year. Just trying to push tempo so much. And I think learning how to change speeds, learning when to slow down, when to accelerate. When to just make the easy pass. I think he tried too many, flashy passes at times, trying to, that high school thing, that immaturity of like, I want to embarrass somebody rather than just make a bounce pass. Just do the simple things. And I think that's where you want to get him. Is just
Stealth Man with a 50 piece.
Oh, shout out to Stealth Man, my dog.
But I think that's the thing, is to slow down, make the easy play. And that's where they have to start breaking his game down. Like everybody gets their game broken down when you come to the NBA and you start building on it. And you say, get him in positions first to do the things he does well. So I think if you're going to get him on the court, when he's in those situations, you just tell him, go straight line. Like you want to attack the bucket, attack the bucket. Don't worry about being a passer right now unless it's the easy direct pass. I don't think you want to put him in position in year one to be running the offense when he's in the game. Let somebody else run it and let him be a guy that concentrates on attacking the basket. If he gets catch and shoot opportunities, you let him do that. But you don't put him in a big decision-making position right now. You let him move the basketball rather than run the offense in year one.
So we have a trade. First off, Malawak goes to the Suns, and then the Charlotte Hornets are trading center Mark Williams to the Phoenix Suns. Interesting. For the number 29 pick tonight. They got 2 bigs there and a 2029 first round pick. So Suns get Mark Williams, Hornets get pick number 29 and a 2029 first round pick. We're going to take a break here for about a minute. And then we're on pick 11. Obviously the Pelicans still have 23. So we'll run a commercial. Make sure you smash the like button. Then we'll obviously bring up some comments.
Malawak to the Rockets. Look.
Is it to the Rockets or the Suns?
To the Rockets.
Sorry, to the Rockets. I said
no, to the Suns. Then it's to the Suns.
So we'll take a break here real quick, and then we'll be right back. Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media. Located at 4600 Ferret Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot Crew Media. Shout out Company Burger, shout out Theos. Shout out everybody in the chat. It's been a record night here on the show, so
Let's
appreciate
get
it.
some record likes too. Let's get some record likes.
If you're new here, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We go live all the time. There's just nonstop content on our YouTube page. So once again, welcome Jeremiah Fears to New Orleans. Chris, let's get your thoughts. What is the next move now for the Pelicans? They're on 23. You think they make a trade to move up here?
I think they're gonna try like hell. It seems to be the thoughts about Derik Queen slipping are true, and we'll see exactly what that means here for some of these upcoming teams. Does the team trade up if it's not the Pelicans, or does the team just say, fuck it, we're taking the best player available? So I think the Pelicans are definitely going to try to trade up, but no matter what, this next pick has to be a big. So whether you think it's a 4, whether you think it's a 5, if they're at 23, is that Danny Wolf? Is that Maximine Reynaud? Is that Joan Behringer? Is that, we'll have to, or do they ultimately trade up and go get their guy, which I am confident. And I think we've all heard how much they like Derik Queen, which, is interesting because, the slip of Derik Queen right now seems to be revolving around some bad workouts that he's had. Didn't appear to come in the best shape to some of these workouts. So it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes, but they're gonna draft a big, just a matter of where it looks like.
I kind of wanted to address that. Man, I really want to root for Derik Queen. I do. But see, the shirt thing is so concerning to me as well, because it's not something I see a lot. Then the rumor of you being out of shape at this stage of the season. So that means you don't really do a lot of off-season work, at least not at this stage. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So again,
Chaz, that's just one of his knocks. That was one of his knocks in the report, that he, out of shape. We've already been down this path.
But
right?
let me also say this. I got to add a caveat here. He was in shape. If he was, in the gym every day like me, you know what I'm saying? Then he wouldn't drop to the Pelicans. But you know what I'm saying? But truly, he wouldn't be available. He'd be gone. Motherfucker be gone by now. So because the skill.
Y'all didn't answer it earlier. Answer earlier. Do y'all not see the Jahlil Okafor in him? Like, very skilled interior player.
Footwork's incredible.
Not in great shape coming into the league. Jahlil was not in great shape coming in.
Yeah.
He's not as polished in the post, but it also, a very polished scorer. Not a great rebounder. Not a great shot blocker. Doesn't have a great shooting range as of yet. Only made, I think, 2 threes last season. So it feels like maybe not a direct comparison, but if we talk about bigs in the last, decade or so that have been drafted, it feels like if it goes bad, it could be very much like a Jahlil Okafor situation.
I think the difference in there, again, which I see what you mean or what you're pointing at, Grub. I think the difference is, for me though, is that either Queen is more versatile with the basketball, or he's allowed to be more versatile with the basketball, bringing the ball up the floor. He works out a little bit further than say Jahlil did, right? Queen, while he can work in the post, he probably faces up a little bit more than Jahlil did, even though Jahlil had that in his bag. Jahlil had hook shots. Jahlil was as traditional as it could be when it comes to the fundal element of playing. I watched him when he was out here at high school. So turnaround fade, so on and so forth. Queen, I watch grab rebounds and go coast to coast. Queen, I see him having a little bit more like his spot of gravity is right in the middle at the free throw line, versus while Jahlil go over there on that block, and that's where you work out at. Right. So,
right.
But if we're talking about the fact that as good as Jahlil was offensively, he was never able to make up for and he tried everything at one point. He went vegan.
Everything.
He lost weight. He did everything to try to be more available on the other side of the floor and improve the things as the game was transitioning and changing around him. It just didn't work. I think if Queen struggles with his weight, and I think he's about 250 right now. I could see that. That could ultimately be a thing. But I think one of the things that's working for him right now is that the game is way more lenient with big men just being able to do more with the basketball than it was when Jaleel came in what year was that? 2012?
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think so, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
No, 2012 was Anthony Davis. So Jaleel was what, 2013? No, that was Nerves Noel. Yeah, it might be 20.
Jaleel is
14,
the
something
year
like that.
before. Wasn't Jaleel the year before Embiid, right? Because Jaleel was there before Embiid got drafted. So I think he's the year before Embiid. I think it's 11 years now. But like the other part of it is too, like, compare Queen to somebody compare Queen to DeMarcus Cousins, and I don't see that because Boogie again was a shooter from day one, and Boogie was a passer. Like, yeah, Queen could take, but Boogie was a dude that you could count on to give you like a triple double waiting to happen. And coming out of college, I don't think there was any doubt.
We got breaking
that Boogie
news.
was the best big man available.
We got breaking news. The Portland Trailblazers are trading Cedric Coward at number 11 to the Memphis Grizzlies. So they get their
That's a
wing
nice
prospect.
trade for Memphis.
I like that.
That's nice for Memphis.
I like that.
And that's a Grizzlies player, bro. Like they always get these.
And y'all saw
guys,
Mark
man.
Williams went to Phoenix already, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that was one of my
always
targets too.
Get these kind of guys. Cedric went 11.
Yeah.
Oh my
111.
god.
This is
I'm
gonna be honest.
That's a reach.
I can't imagine how bad. I still take him on the team, but I can't imagine how bad Queen must be interviewing.
Yeah.
Because I watched the interview with him the other day. It's my first time actually listening to him speak, and I was like, "Ooh, all right, I see where this is going." So I just can't imagine, like, he's a very young man. I'll say he's a very young man, and he's gonna need some time to kind of. He needs to be around adults. That's what I think. He needs to be around some adults. I don't know if this is the best place for him.
If you eliminate, here's the thing. Here's the allure with Queen when you watch him play basketball. Unfortunately, this is what he's gonna have to realize, because it's a lot more with being a professional basketball player than just the game of actually playing basketball. If you eliminate every other element of this shit, if you eliminate the combine, if you eliminate the workouts, if you eliminate the interviews and everything, and you just out there playing basketball, it's probably two dudes. It's probably two dudes that are better than him. He's that good, and he's that skilled, specifically with the ball in his hands, his approach, and how much of a bully he is, and just like a competitor, a gamer, right? But it's that other stuff. And the messed up part is that, like, you can't hold Zion sins to him, but the more and more you start talking about what you gotta listen as a professional, these are some other things that you gotta do for longevity, to get the best out your body and to be in the best shape and to be healthy. You can't help yourself but think, we didn't just got through with this already.
You know what, Chris? And this ain't fair, but if he was, because I saw a picture of him and Ace, they were standing back to back. I'm like, damn, they look about the same height. If Derik Queen was 7'1", I don't give a fuck how immature he is. I'm just like, nah, we gotta take the chance. I'll talk to him. We gonna let's just do this. But the fact that he does have to play next to a center, kind of worries me a little bit. I feel that he got 6th man of the year potential. I just worry about him as a full-time starting big. If that jumper doesn't come around, I feel like, his ability to space the floor is missing a little bit. And he don't look like he about to get out and run with nobody. But the dude, what? Like he 18, 19 years old. By 20 years old, he could drop all that weight. It ain't hard to drop weight when you're a master athlete. Like, he could drop all that weight and just do his thing, be competent defensively. Because even Jahlil Okafor lost a ton of weight. I mean, if we just sticking with that trend, he lost a ton of weight. And I think watching Jahlil Okafor, I didn't really enjoy watching him play in the tournament I was just like, that's supposed to be the number one dude. So if Queen was number one, I'd be like, nah. But at like 13 through whatever, fuck it. I say let's do it. You know, if he becomes available.
So the one thing that Jeremiah Fierce at the
Queen was
combine,
6'9"?
that was
Queen measures
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I was just looking at quotes from Jeremiah Fears, but he said this at the combine. He says, "I see myself as the best player in this class."
So got that aura, dog.
I mean,
That's how you gotta feel, dog.
That's the one thing about Fears that I do like. He also got to be delusional because he's somebody like he reminds me of somebody who's been playing with adults his whole life on the floor. He don't ever it always feel, and it obviously sells. I mean, he was 17 playing last year. He's been a step ahead as a small guard, probably his whole life. He's just used to playing around towers, so he doesn't have that fear. He doesn't. That's funny. He doesn't seem to have any type of scarcity in his game in regards to I'm going to get this bucket. I'm going to make this happen. The way that he plays stronger than whatever his weight is listed. When you watch him elbowing other 220, 200-pound adults off of him consistently over and over on tape, when you see how strong he is stopping, like his mind is just different. He played on concrete 100%. So,
I also think you got to give him. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead. Nah. Go ahead.
I'm about to say to Chris's point. I also think you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, just like you might give a Misi. Shout out to Eve Misi who's in the building, or like a Malawak guys who just according to them just started playing basketball and they already ahead of the learning curve. I think you got to give Fears the same benefit of the doubt, considering that he's dude supposed to be playing varsity basketball right now. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be taking the L to Country Day, maybe. Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? But I do think
we can't fall into the chest. We can't.
Because
you know what's gonna happen.
Bull select Noah.
Years from now, he's supposed to.
We're gonna still say he's young. He's a kid. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be saying. Yeah, but I just want to give him the benefit of doubt, considering like right now, for some of these dudes, again, if you declare next year, who knows? Like, right? Maybe he looks better next year, but also next year is supposed to be very, very, very top heavy, and it's like I heard people saying Cooper Flag going like 5 next year. So what I'm saying?
We're already starting this.
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like you better get in the building now, or it's your money. You don't want it. Like,
hey,
Carter Bryant.
My bad, Justin.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Chris, I don't think it's a reach, dog.
Wait, stop. We got breaking news. The Atlanta Hawks have traded number 13 to the New Orleans Pelicans for number 23 and an unprotected 2026 first round pick.
Told you.
Who? We're all the clock.
I told you.
Here we go.
Come on,
Is it Queen? Is it Queen? Is it Derik
I don't know
Queen?
if it's Queen.
Did Joe Dumars just fucking knock this out the park? Year one, and we still got pick 40.
Hold on.
So Pelicans on the clock, right? No. Who? No, the Bulls just. The Bulls just picked Noah.
13, right?
Yeah, Bulls. This will be Derik Queen.
Yeah, the Bulls
think so?
12. So
fucking do it.
Wait, is Noah still there?
Do it. No, he just got selected by the Bulls.
And they got that money to just absorb cap. Like they got those TPEs. Now I don't know if Misi is going in this. Shout out to Eve. If you're ashamed to lose you after just meeting you, dog. Feel like I hardly knew you. But I know Bryson was again, Bryson. That's why I'm looking at everybody who Joe got some type of relationship with recently. He seems to be drawing from those wells. Troy Weaver was just a senior advisor in Washington. Troy Weaver drafted Sadiq Bey. Aaron Miles, developmental coach for Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying? Again, if it's Queen, like the Troy Weaver connections to Queen is out of this world. It's almost like collusion, to be honest. But it's interesting.
I just like them being aggressive. I like them being aggressive. Chris, I think you're muted, bro. Chris is yelling, but he's muted. He doesn't even understand that he's muted. He's yelling, but he's muted. You're muted, Chris.
You yelled this night, Chris?
Unmute yourself.
Chris, unmute yourself, bro.
I was cussing.
What'd you say?
I'm
listening.
I said I was cussing. It's a family friendly, show, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah, you're right. Listen,
depending on whose family you talking about.
Yeah.
New Orleans is taking Derik Queen at 13.
They got your dog, Derik Queen.
Derik motherfucking Queen. Come on,
Justin, talk about it, bro. What's up?
So
no, this is your guy. Come on.
Wait, we gave up an unprotected
Joe.
Wait,
what we gave up? We got a new member, Derik.
Oh, shout out to Chuck Nolan.
Queen in New Orleans. Go ahead, Lito. Lito, this is your guy. Go ahead.
I mean, bro, like the film. And listen, man, Chris was there. The film sold us, bro. Like the film sold us.
Oh man,
Chris,
I don't like this.
What?
I do not like this. So, well, it's still a swap. It's still a swap. They gave up the unprotected rights to the swap for the Bucks pick. So it's the most favorable. So they'll still get a pick in 26, but now, if the Bucks end up 9th and, the Pelicans end up, 6th or some shit, then Atlanta will get Atlanta on a lot of.
Let's go ahead, Lito. Finish your thoughts on Queen.
You gotta do what you gotta do to go get your guy, man. I don't give a shit. They
gotta
went
do what you gotta do.
Their guy.
Go get your guy, dog.
They did what they had to do to go and get their dude, and I'm like, son, it was the best film breakdown that we did. It was the most fun film breakdown that I that I enjoyed watching, and now it's perfect. Like, I mean, Queen. Like, you look at, like, to me, this, like, I forget the comp we did on one of the shows, Lito, but it's like getting a young quarterback a tight end, like that. Like, you got if fears possibly, like, you wanted Zion independence, Chaz. This is Zion independence.
Yep.
Queen.
Like this is it. Queen and fears.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I do think shit. I do think he's a 4. I like the front court depth, and now you got to figure out what's happening with center. But see, with 40, you can kind of just do what you want. I'm going super whatever high upside play, because again, you got centers on the free agent market. You've still got salary. You could trade for a center, because now look at the roster, right? And you got to sign both these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers don't work for free. So you got, just on the perimeter alone, you got Zion, Poole, Jose, Fears, Hawkins, Herb,
Reeves,
Antonio Reeves, Trey. That's 8 players just on the perimeter alone. And when you talk about quote unquote traditional bigs, you got Eve. Yeah, you talk about, like, quote unquote traditional bigs. Now you got Eve, you got Carlo, and you got Queen. So I say, man, if I'm them, I'll just go sign. Like, if I'm not about to trade somebody and go give me a starting caliber center, then I'm just gonna sign, Jock Landale, maybe Sharp, some guys like that, and just play
Thomas Bryant.
Let's play some guys like that.
Hey,
because I think with Thomas Bryant, if you get a Thomas Bryant in free agency, you're getting the shooting big who can play center. Because to me, Carlo is a 4. You know what I'm saying? Carlo is not a 5. So you get you're putting offense at your 4 spot and not defense. So you have to make sure your 5s are defensive, because Queen's not a defensive player. He's an offensive player. That's fine. He's a hub. And I think absolutely, like Chris said, I do think his offensive skills are off the chart. I think he's a fantastic offensive player. You're just hoping that he brings it every night and that he gets in the NBA shape. Those 2 things are the things. Can he develop his body? And does he have, he's a competitor as far as I see. He's a guy who's made big shots. So I think at the 4, Like, you have to decide he's a 4. Like, you have to come in and not make the mistakes that you made with Zion and try to force Zion in at the 4. Zion was a 3. He should have always been a 3. Queen is a 4 in the NBA at 6'9", and the skill set he has. And I think it's fine to pair him and Eves, because Eves is never going to be a primary scorer in the post. So you can throw it in now. And that was one thing that the Pelicans didn't have, is though even though Queen is more of a face-up type, they have not had anybody that you could throw it into the block and score in the post, because Zion was a face-up guy. Zion doesn't have a back-to-the-basket game at all. So I think at least Queen gives you that, and you can use him with the second unit as a guy who you could throw it into, and he can kick it back out to Trey. He can kick it back out to Poole, and with those groups if Zion is on the bench. So, and I think he can be really good in the pick and roll too. But you gotta again, the development for everybody with the Pelicans is always going to be the thing. But I agree with Chris that absolutely these are two guys that if you decide to move on from Zion Williamson at any point, whether it's this year, next year, or in 3 years, if you do your job in the front office and with their coaching staff, these are two guys who can be building blocks for you, real building blocks.
I also go ahead,
Lito.
Listen, from day one, he walking into the building as the best passer on the team. From day one, like we talk about a lot of things with Derik Queen. Bro, he is an exceptional passer. I mean, like an elite passer. Can make every type of pass on the move and knows when to make that pass. I'm talking like coast to coast, grab a rebound and fucking book it, and literally like it's passing the ball like a little man. He is a Grubb said, throw the ball in, make a throw the ball in on a post. He's a bully. He's a bully, bro. He is great footwork. You know what I'm saying? He is exceptional touch around the rim. Left hand, right hand, which makes me feel like eventually the shot will catch up to it, because he's such a great feel around the rim that like even shooting free throws, like his free throw percentage wasn't terrible, but like he's got a decent mid-range game. He's like a little mini. I'm not saying he's this guy when I say this. Not saying he's this guy, but like he's like a mini Sabonis. He's a little basketball ecosystem. Like a lot of shit can revolve around him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got that kind of feel to his game. And look, he's not a rim defender. He's flawed. He has a lot of flaws to his game, right? But he does have quick hands. He has quick hands. He's a very he does a lot of damage with getting steals in pick and roll situations because people underestimate how quick his hands are. He's a guy who is just, I mean, he was co-MVP of the McDonald's All-American game. He played on the team with Cooper Flagg, and you tell me who's the best player on that team. You know what I'm saying? Like it really depends on how you're looking at it. Like
he's played with 3 first-rounders.
You know what I'm saying?
So we talk about like the postseason, Chris. Like Derik Queen in the postseason was averaging basically a double-double. Dropped 19 and 10 against Illinois, dropped 12 and 15 in the first round, dropped 27 and 5 against Florida, 17 and 6 against Colorado State. He was, in my opinion, I thought obviously right there, before he got to the
What happened?
Stop right there. Colorado State game. I gotta come back to that. But go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. Which Colorado State?
The end of that Colorado State game will tell you everything you need to know about him. I think one way or another, I think they blew a big lead, or Colorado State blew a big lead. But in the end of the second half, he's not getting the basketball, and he's clearly pissed, clearly frustrated, and that goes into some of the motor questions because he wasn't given the same energy. He wasn't seeing the ball. Julian Reese is getting more touches than him down the stretch. Shout out to Julian Reese, Angel Reese family member.
No.
Shout out to Asta. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. But wasn't getting the basketball. Clearly frustrated. I think it was. I don't know if it was. It might have been Nick Clifford, but someone from Colorado State hits the shot. They end up taking the lead. Whatever the case may be, they got one shot. He ain't touched the ball a good majority of the last 5 minutes of the second half. He goes and asks for the basketball. and goes and puts Colorado State away. This wasn't to tie the game. This wasn't free throws. This wasn't to get them back within one. This was to go and win the game for a dude that hadn't touched the basketball. Clearly frustrated, clearly pissed off, regained his composure and went and won the game at 18, 19 years old. That told me all I needed to know about what type of person or individual you're getting.
Yeah.
Didn't he have 3 game winners last
on that floor? Yeah.
I just want to. The only thing is, after you just traded that Bucks, after you just traded that the Indiana pick, there's no guarantee what's gonna happen with the Bucks pick, right? Because Giannis, they holding their cards close to the vest. Because the reality is still a reality. It was like y'all ain't got many avenues to do something with. You better be right about Derik Queen, because you just paid potentially a steep price. Because maybe some teams feel like, oh, the East is wide open, we can do our thing this year. But at the same time, it's like every other, like, Atlanta got way more avenues to get better than the Bucks got. The Bucks just don't have many avenues to get better for us trades and things like that. I don't know if Giannis ultimately comes to that conclusion, but if something weird happens, again, God forbid, I go, what, Giannis has a knee sprain, he's out for 6 weeks, things can change very quickly. And you would need Derik Queen. Boy, you need Derik Queen to be a guy, because there's Troy Weaver, his strong suit has never really been trades. So you need Derik Queen to be a guy, and you need him to be a guy almost immediately. Because they still got their own pick, and I got to see how the swap works out. But it looks rough, huh?
Damn. We had a lot of one of our biggest issues.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Five?
Waiting too long is another thing. Yeah,
with the last regime, exactly with Griff, is that we heard about all these people they were interested in, all these different people they were tied to. You like Jabari Smith, you could go get him. You're not gonna go get him. You like Jaden Ivey, you can go get him. We're gonna stay where we at. You like a bunch of different players that they didn't go out and use these treasure chests of assets for when it was time. They kept talking about liking these different individuals. They kept playing with the idea of going to get them, but they never went and actually did it.
Pull the trigger.
This could ultimately fail. But this regime is saying out the gate,
we're gonna try.
It's terrible. It's for value purposes. It's probably horrible. But it's saying we are not waiting around. We are going to get the people that we fuck with. Like, one way or another, we're going to get it. We're not waiting.
Look, also, I'm sorry, Chris. I was about to say, the league is funny because the league just makes a way for teams to escape unescapable situations. With the Lakers, with you just saw it with the Celtics. They didn't have to pay to get off of Drew's terrible contract. They didn't have to really pay to get off of Zinga's. The league makes a way for teams to figure it out. So I wouldn't be shocked if the league made a way for Milwaukee to figure it out. But you better trade somebody right now and get some.
And we're going to talk about that. So we have over 880 people here. It's a record. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the new channel. Jarrett just joined the show. Jarrett, let's hear your initial thoughts on Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. Shout out to your Sooners, and Derik Queen trading up at 13.
You know what's really wild about this?
Talk about
Lito, Chris. We did the drops on these dudes the same night.
We did. Damn.
Ain't that wild?
Wow.
Damn, we did.
Wow. It's almost like
it was the same night.
It was the same night.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that.
Shout out to our dog Pistons talking to Bill.
Can we get hey guys, if we can get to 1,000 people there, that'd be awesome. Make sure you share the stream, like the channel. That'd be incredible. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, no. Again, we did our due diligence on these two individuals, and just so happened to be in the same night. There's a lot of things I like about Jeremiah Fears, in my opinion. Super young, but I think he's skilled and has like really good upside, in my opinion. Strong with the ball. He lackadaisical with his passing a little bit, but his ability to understand angles, split defenders, get in the paint. Like, I don't think he's like he has like elite like athleticism, like a Jay Nivey or anything like that. But I like his game. I truly do. And Derik Queen in the same breath is different yet the same. Like a lot of upside, a lot of things, a lot. He does things that you would like to see basketball players do innately, right? He understands spacing. He plays within himself. He doesn't really get outside of that. But what he does well, he does really well, and that's what he wants to do. So I think my man Joe Dumars is playing his cards. I'm not saying it's like a grade, but it's better than what we used to have. God damn it, it's progress. So
and Jared, that's the point I want to make here.
Shout out to Admit.
And look, and Chaz is right, and I love hearing all the different opinions because I want to hear everyone's thoughts on the overall draft process so far. But the one thing that I really do appreciate about Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver is that they have identified players that they like. They like Jeremiah Fears, but then they knew that they identified Derik Queen. What did they do? Hey, look, we believe in this guy. Let's go trade up. Let's give up an asset, and let's go get this guy. Something David Griffin didn't do. Taking risks and understanding that maybe this might pay off. Maybe it doesn't. Who fucking knows? We won't know in the next couple of years. But at least it's exciting and understanding that, hey, we wanted Derik Queen. We made it happen. And in the last 24 hours, Grub, Dumars has traded CJ McCollum. He's acquired Jordan Poole. He's acquired Sadiq Bey. He's drafted Jeremiah Fears. He's traded up for Derik Queen, and he still has pick number 40. So we'll start with you. Overall, in the last 24 hours, and this being his first draft, like, how are you feeling about the new regime?
I mean, the job was to make the team better. The team is better. I'll say that. You know, I mean, I don't know how much better yet, but it's a better team. I think the one thing too is that now the Pelicans are capable of playing more than one style of basketball. Because last year they could not operate in the half court because you didn't have anybody, other than Zion driving straight ahead. The half court was a mess. To have somebody who can score in that block is really important. And they have that now. They have some balance to the offense where the ball can get inside the three-point arc by a pass and not just be a dribble. And I'm saying, like, everything last year to get inside the arc, if it didn't happen off the dribble, it didn't happen. How many possessions did you see where it just swung around the perimeter and never got inside? Now you have somebody that you can throw it into his right hand. You know what I mean? Throw it high, right into his right hand and let him work. And it's not going to take a long time for him to decide if he's going to shoot. He's going to know real early on if he wants to take that shot or not. And then now you also have Eves, who's a fantastic offensive rebounder, to give you some second shot opportunities. You are able to run with these guys, with Jordan Poole. You're able to run with Fears. That's where he's going to be at his best right now. You're able to run with Trey. You're able to run with Zion. And I think that they're trying to, and Bey is going to be a guy who can play defense and knock down some outside shots if he's healthy. So, I mean, you're building a team that can do more than one thing. So I think you're prepared if you decide that some of these guys don't fit. Like Chaz saying, you have an abundance of certain players. You now have to feel like you can move some of these guys and feel a lot more confident in scraping that bench and making the moves to fill out a team. Like you have a team that looks like it's cohesive and being built to have flexibility on the court, flexibility financially, and flexibility as far as what you want to do with these guys in the future. It may not be perfect, and we'll find out what happens in a year from now. We'll see how it looks then, and we'll really be able to evaluate. But today, I'll say they are a much better team, at least on paper, than they were a week ago.
So we're 30. Hold up, give me 1 second, Chaz. We're 30 away from 1K. If y'all could share it, like the stream, it'd be very appreciated. We're 30. We are 30 people away from 1K in the stream. So shout out to y'all. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate y'all. Chaz, go ahead. We're now 29.
I just want to give a major shout out to Blue Jay 44 with those 10 gifted Boo Crew memberships. We got a show dropping for y'all.
Cole got one?
ASAP, because I think I think Cole ain't get one. Damn, Cole. I think
we called this. My bad, Chaz. My bad.
Nah, you up.
My bad.
But I think looking at the way things have gone, right? It's 2 picks, and You ain't got a lot of money to sign these people. So I don't think now you don't need a bunch of young people on your team at one time. I know some people, and like myself as well, I'm a bit concerned about the 26 draft, but it's still real top heavy. And I would just like a tradable asset, like future draft capital. But that's also where the Pelicans come in handy because they got all their own picks. And this team is far from a sure thing. So I think their own picks hold just as much value as the Bucks picks. But that being said, now you gotta move DeJounte. Or you gotta move her. One of them gotta go. Because off the top of my head, you just added about 13, 14 million and salary that you got to sign. And this is off the top of my head in those two picks. And you still might be picking at 40. So that's another 1-2 million, something like that. 2 million between 2 and 3.
That's a non-guaranteed deal, though. This second round could be a non-guaranteed deal.
Yeah, but if you waived, and also you don't have to, you just got to be out of the tax by the end of the season. But if you waive Peyton and Boston, you would have only been at around 18 million with a luxury tax. Still, and they're still not a tax team, and you still don't necessarily have a starting center. So let's say you solidified your backup point guard. You think Fears backup point guard, you will give him every chance to succeed for sure. That's a bet. Now you need another center, and you ain't really got money to sign nobody. So
you do have now. Hold on the money. You're not on the money. Let's be accurate, because you still have your mid-level exemption. You still have your trade exemption that you created by trading CJ and Kelly. So that's a $13 million exemption on the on that trade. And you
that counts toward the cap, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You still have, but you still have and you also have the Brandon trade exemption that's still there. So they have the mid-level. The trade and those two trade exemptions that they can use. So whichever one of those that they decide to use, they still have. So I think that it's not as bad financially as it could be. It's I think there's certainly at $13 million, I think you can find a center.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think the exemptions count toward the cap, though. I think I could be mistaken. So, but even then, I'm like, I think they would be operating. Because right now they got the non-taxpayer exemptions. TPEs rarely get used, right? I'm interested to see like what's about to happen, how you felt the rest of the round. So you still don't got a starting center.
Yeah, well, let's talk about roster construction here. We're going to talk about. Let me get Lito, Chris's, Jared's thoughts on the new regime with the trade up. Lito, go ahead first with the trade up of Queen and then drafting Fears.
I also just want to say that Chris Ivory and I called that Thomas Sober was going to OKC when we did that Thomas Sober.
Y'all did. I remember that. Shout out to Ivory.
Chad's been on point. That whole podcast been on point. Go ahead. 6 away from 1K. So if you could share the stream, that'd be incredible. Go ahead.
Oh, you asking me about how the regime is doing?
Yeah, new regime in the last 24 hours.
Bro, look, I have no complaints, honestly. Like I'm good with both picks. I think you got value for what you could in 7 with Fears. I think if that's your guy and you have a plan for him, what, Justin? What?
Hanson Yang to the drafted 16.
The tall Asian man?
What?
Yeah.
He got drafted 16?
What? Chris, that's a reach?
Bro, what the fuck is going on? Who took him at 16?
The Trailblazers. The Trailblazers.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Aiton out of here. It doesn't matter where he's going, but Aiton out of here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lito.
Bro, 16?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, listen, in the words of Ivory Clark, not here, but in the words of Ivory Clark,
shout out Ivory.
This is what Ivory said. He's texting me and Chris. He said everything after 2 in this draft is not a reach. So I was like, all right, cool.
That's a Reese gang.
That's a reach.
Go ahead.
That's a reach.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. I'm as a fan, bro. Like, I feel like I always say this: you can't be ass and trash at the same time, right? You got to pick which lane you're gonna be in, right? So if you bring an excitement to my ball club, bro, you bringing people who gon', like we talked about fears, confidences, or like in the same breath, Queen got the same thing. Like he has the same mental makeup. He is a guy who wants the basketball. He showed he's not scared of the moment in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? On the biggest stage. Of course, both players flawed. They got a lot to work on. I am happy with the picks.
We go what?
Wait, who that was to?
Whoever it's to. What we doing here?
That was to you, Lito.
Nah. I got a daughter. Nah.
Hey, Chaz, the exemptions don't count against the cap. The exemptions allow you to go over the cap. But you have to use the exemption. You can go over the cap with that.
All right. Well, Justin stepped away. Five. What about you, bro?
On. Wait. Oh, what's the question?
5 shook over that comment, yo.
Oh, I ain't even see it.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Your thoughts about how aggressive the regime was tonight, or has been since they got to New Orleans so far.
That's like let's say like post Katrina. Like you had to go in and re-gut everything. You had to be super aggressive about how you cleaned up everything. So it wasn't gonna be pretty. Right, it wasn't gonna be organized. Like, hey, you got a plan, make stuff happen. Right, like, yeah, this may not go right all the time, but at least some of it might. So at least it just feels like they have a plan about it. Right, and that's the truly positive thing. Just moving forward, like, yo, they got a plan about it. If it fails, it fails. Cool, be cool with that. But moving forward, this line of work. The effort in doing so isn't going to be half-assed, at least. They're not gonna. It's not buddy ball. They ain't tripping about relationships or hey, this guy's been here. They don't care about that. They have to them it's just business, and they're moving in that way. Yeah, man, it's been good to see. I'm kind of excited for the first time, probably since Zion got drafted. To be honest, this is probably the most excited I've kind of felt about this team. Or maybe when CJ got traded and you thought that next year was going to be there. But yeah, this is about that same feeling.
Yo,
hey, just real quick.
It was great. I'm sorry, girl.
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
No, it's just real quick. That Oklahoma City pick is really interesting. For them to take Sorber where they did, you have to wonder now, is Hartenstein going to be on the move? Because they have, they got financial issues that they got to be prepared for, people who need extensions. Could Hartenstein, who didn't, have a great finals, you took Sorber, who's a defender. That's what you and by a lot of folks, he was rated the best. He and Malawak were the best 2 defensive centers on the board. If you're Oklahoma City now, you got Chet, who gave you 5 blocks in game 7, and you add to that Sorber. Like Hartenstein's days may be numbered in Oklahoma City, considering that salary, and that's interesting too. But Oklahoma City also gets bigger if they keep Hartenstein. Now they got 3 7-footers to play in rotation, and that is crazy. So the Pelicans have to add somebody to this front court. I mean, just 3 legitimate 7-footers that Oklahoma City is rolling out there next year.
Would you go after Hartenstein? That would be my rebuttal.
And money is a lot. If they'll take DeJounte because of that money, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they'll take DeJounte and you get Hartenstein, then I'll take that.
So, I guess the real question, Chaz, will start with you. How is Willie Green going to coach Derik Queen?
I think Willie Green has kind of become irrelevant in this. I think it's kind of.
Do you think Joe's calling the shots?
Yeah, I think Willie Green is less relevant than ever in this.
Do you think like Joe's like, hey, Fears has to play 25 minutes?
Yeah, because
Queen has to play 25 minutes.
Well, I don't know about that necessarily, but you don't draft these type of players if you give a fuck what Willie Green got to say. You go draft Murray Boyles and a bunch of guys like that, like dirty, do work type players. You draft Malawak probably. If you like, I want to help Willie Green. I don't. Joe, every new GM or whoever, they deserve their own coach. He gonna get his own coach at some point.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm kind of looking at now is even with moving anybody, the only real positive asset you have left is her. Whereas with DeJounte, you got to attach an asset to move him. And seeing as how you just gave up potentially 2 valuable assets, I'm trying to figure out like what's your plan like moving forward, because the money still looks shaky and you still don't have a starting caliber center and you got a gluttony along the perimeter. So you, in my mind, they gotta have something. And you still got the same issues. You still ain't got no shooting in the front court. Like you still got some issues, defensive rebounding, defensive defense at the rim. You still got some of the same issues. So now I'm just kind of thinking like they gotta have something lined up to get some assets back. Because you just used 2 first. You got 40 that you still got. You just traded next year. You just traded 2 of next year's first. So what you got lined up to get some cheap, cost-effective assets back? That's what I'm trying to think. Because one thing I'm getting nervous about, and this was one of the things I was kind of nervous about with Joe Dumars being the age he is being short-sighted. I don't want to be too short-sighted because, again, we just saw what happened with the Pacers. Who could have predicted that? But you also could have waited. So it's that's the thing I'm looking at. Like, I hope motherfucker ain't being too short-sighted because I don't know if something come out tomorrow and Giannis say, yeah, I'm going to New York. I'm like, yo, motherfucker. Like,
that would be so. God, we're 2 hours in, 985 people in the room. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Pelicans have drafted Jeremiah Fears, traded up to draft Maryland center Derik Queen.
Herb ain't going nowhere, man. Herb ain't going nowhere.
Okay, we'll start with this, Grub. Let's go. Actually, Jared, did you want to say something about her?
Yeah, no, it really wasn't about her. Chaz talked about being short-sighted, right? Like, I truly understand it. But I do think the Pels are, again, I think to Grove's point, the Pels are better on paper than they were, right? I think they have a different foundation, right? They may not have the roof above the team. They may not have doors yet, but I think their foundation is at least a little bit more solid than it was prior. And at least they have that. I'm cool with, shit not looking right, but at least, they got some floor under them. Like they kind of, it looks like they
Jared.
Yeah, I know. But it looks like, okay, this feels like a basketball team again. That's all.
Jared, more importantly, I have a way more important question for you because I was out at Carrollton last night. It was the playoffs, right? Was it playoffs at Carrollton?
Yeah, it's playoff season. Matter of fact, Khan made the All-Star team first year. Khan made the All-Star team.
Shout out Khan, baby.
Shout out Khan. Did y'all win tonight, or was it?
They fucking keep score, man.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to Khan.
I know a Khan that got drafted tonight that'll never make an All-Star team. So,
Chris, Chris, come on, bro. For real?
Did I lie? Is he making?
I think Ford was a bit of a reach, but I don't think very highly of VJ neither. So it's like,
okay.
Hey, we had 986, man.
I know 14 away. Share the stream so we can just get to 1K and celebrate it.
Oh, how many times we gonna pass this collection plate? But go,
Lito, I know. God damn, I want to get to 1K, Chaz. Fuck, man. We don't 1K. Lito, let's talk summer league. Your team's looking like, just right off the top of my head, your team's looking like Antonio. So you have Fears, Reeves, Queen, Misi. Will Jordan Hawkins be on that team? If he's still on the team,
he better. He better.
Hey, look. You can't ask me that. I have motherfuckers in year 5 in summer league. Like,
hey, for Jordan Hawkins' sake, he better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a pretty exciting summer league team, with those 5. If Hawkins plays.
Yeah, Keon will be there. What's your boy? Quinones will be there.
Quiznos will be there, yeah.
I'd send Carlo back again.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Dude, that team's going to be stacked. They should... Fears is going to...
got a summer league super team.
Like they should win. They should win the Summer
We
League
don't know if the
championship.
Nets gonna roll out there though. The Nets got 5 dudes going.
That really is. Do
Oh,
y'all want to open up the line for fans
Do it.
join and give their thoughts? Okay.
Hey, only if they hit the fucking like button first.
Yes.
Hey, let me
smash like button. Go ahead, Grub. What you got?
I would just say on the Herb thing. This is why I don't think Herb goes anywhere right now. Again, I'm not saying that he won't go somewhere in the future, but I'm saying right now, it seems that they're building a team to run. Somebody got to get some steals and deflections. Somebody's got to be the connector for those 3 guys in Trey, Jordan Poole, and Zion. Somebody's got to be willing to move that ball. Somebody's got to set the screens. Somebody's got to do the dirty stuff. You ain't got to teach Herb Jones to do none of that. And right now, to have a team to make it work for Joe to do his assessment, I think he wants to see the team working a certain way. And you want to see it at its best to allow all these guys to function at their best. It functions best when Herb Jones is on the floor. And so I think you make that assessment and you figure out what you have. And I think that's the part of this is like the one thing I agree that his assessment of Willie Green, I think, is already done. I don't think anything can change his mind on Willie Green. But I think with some of these guys, you still have to decide who's going to be here. And I think to do that, you want to see who you consider your assets on the floor together. And I think, going in, they've all looked at the data and they know that 3-man group of Zion, Trey, and Herb has always worked. No matter how bad this team has been, that 3-man group has always worked. So I think Joe wants to see that up close before he makes any determination on Herb Jones.
What's the starting lineup look like?
Poole, Herb, Trey, Zion, Messi to start. Because I think with the rookies, Willie ain't starting the rookies, man. He ain't starting rookies.
So then what do you do with what do you do with Jose?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I think this team sucks. That's why I think I'm just going through everybody.
You didn't win no championship.
I'm not even talking about that. You didn't fix a single fucking problem you had. You ain't got no rebound. No, hold on, bro. Let me finish. We disagree. So you didn't fix your defensive rebounding. You didn't fix your defense at the rim. And you still got some interesting. You didn't fix your 3-point shooting. And we counting on Saddiq Bey, who I am a fan of, who was about to get paid before he got hurt. But he ain't played basketball in a year. We hoping Carlo continues to develop. We hoping Hawkins' jumper comes around. I'm just trying to figure out, look, they far from done. The team don't have to be finished today. It was just one motherfucking draft. It's a bunch of shit you could do moving on, of course. But I'm still looking I got to give it an incomplete because I can tell something else. They got to know something else. They got to know something else. Is because there's no way you can run back the same starting front court that had so many problems last year. I just don't think you could do that.
The biggest problem wasn't the front court. The biggest problem was the backcourt last year. The backcourt couldn't stop anybody from getting in the lane. And I think that was the bigger problem. But your main needs, the front court need has not been finished yet, the defensive side. I absolutely agree with that. But they are better in certain ways. You needed better ball handling. I think Jordan Poole gives you something that CJ could not give you as a ball handler. Right. You ask for better shooting. Saddiq Bey is a 38% career shooter. Jordan Poole's a 40% career shooter from 3. So you did get better there as far as adding some outside shooting. I don't think I don't think they're counting on Jordan Hawkins. I really don't believe that. I think you look at Antonio Reeves, who shot about 40% from 3 last year, and you give him those minutes, you are a better shooting team. They still have to be better defensively, and they still need rebounding and rim protection. Absolutely. But they did address playmaking. They did address shooting. They did address perimeter ball handling. I absolutely think that they did.
I just hope Saddiq ready. I think he got some stuff where he's back training and stuff. Again, he's a year removed from the injury. So, man, I think you're counting on these guys coming out like gangbusters.
Jared, let me get your thoughts then. We're talking about the roster. Obviously, I don't think it's still done, but do you think Fears will get, because Grubb made an interesting point, he might have to go to the G League. Do you think Fears gets early run with this roster, or how do you think that's going to play out with Fears? Because Derik Queen's a day one NBA guy. More so Fears though. What are your thoughts?
Like day one.
Like, is he getting consistent minutes? I'm not talking Antonio Reeves minutes. Is he getting 15 minutes a night?
You have to, right?
And that's the head coach,
right? Like that's the messed up part. We're having a conversation about Jeremiah Fears minutes, and he was the 7th draft pick, right? 7th draft pick, and we had these conversations about Dyson too, and that was a problem. Like, you have to play these guys. You got to figure out a way to play guys like this that you've invested in. They have value to your team. You got to get a return on that investment, and the only way you do that is time on the court. Yeah, they're going to struggle early. That's a given. But you got to give them time to see if it works or not. When you dilute that, like, you fucking up your own money. You stepping on your own product.
It ain't Blue Magic no more.
Hey, Colin Sexton is probably going to be available now.
Bro, please go get him. Please go get him.
That is true.
The Wizards just took Walter Clayton.
At 19.
The Wizards trading Walter Clayton to Utah.
Oh.
So they got Walter. That's a big deal to me. If they're taking him earlier than I think that people thought Clayton going.
Ain't no way I see him. Now this a reach.
Colin Sexton in the last year.
Chris, what are your thoughts? I saw this in one of the comments. I wanted to ask this question. I didn't start though, but thoughts on Derik Queen and Zion Williamson's fit together? Can those two play on the court at the same time? I mean, obviously, yes, they can, but I'm saying, do they fit?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just give you one right now. I'll just give you a lineup. Queen, Zion, Trey, Herb, and Poole.
Yes.
Are you too small? Can you rebound?
I'm not. Yes. I mean, I think Queen is a plus rebounder. He may not be an
average 9,
but I mean, he's a plus rebounder. So it's not like, he's out there averaging 6 or 5 rebounds a game. He's gonna go out there and go get the basketball. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a fit. When it comes to Zion itself, I don't think there's a such thing as what fits Zion. I just don't think it's a thing. I've seen him play with guys that he probably that aren't spacers. They can't shoot the ball. I've seen him play in double lineups, double big lineups. I've seen him play in small lineups, and I've seen him still be able to succeed and be him. It's about the other guys that's on the floor. How are they going to be able to make, like, Zion? Zion's going to find a way to get his regardless and be. Yeah. That's part of the talent that he is. And I mean, bro, we going into year 8, man, the year 7, whatever the hell it is now. Like, Zion has to prove that he's worth you even talking about as a franchise, what fits best for him or around him. But Justin, one of the things I do want to talk about at some point.
Yeah.
The Pelicans right now are getting destroyed online for this move.
Yeah.
So I'm curious of everyone's thoughts, huh?
They're getting destroyed for Queen?
The trade, not for Queen, the trade. They're getting killed for the trade.
The trade, what they gave up to get Queen. Now, I mean, look, like, this is part of the side of being aggressive. It might be a little short-sighted, or it could be franchise altering. It could be something that changes the next 5 to 10 years of your franchise. Like, where are you guys on that balance right now between them being ultra aggressive and getting guys that might be top 5 talents in this draft in comparison to what they gave up to possibly get them?
Go ahead, Lito.
Man, my thing is this. Like, I see people with the unprotected picks, and I get it. Some guy was like, they could have gave up the first round pick for next year. They could have, bro, but maybe they didn't. And at the end of the day, I literally just tweeted, like, Giannis, even with Giannis alone, like, that is a play-in team. It doesn't look like he's being traded. They're gonna be a playing team. So 7, 8, 9, wherever you have them, 10, wherever you have them, they're gonna be there. So at the end of the day, am I gonna wait? Am I gonna continuously wait for another team to dictate or another player to dictate my direction. Like I just gave it. I'm like this. They went and they got their guy, right? They got who they wanted to get. I gotta like my hats off to them because that is a clear vision. They have a vision. They have a found. They're trying to build a foundation, and most importantly, like these moves that they made. Y'all talked about being Zion dependent of Zion or independent in working with Zion, right? Like these moves kind of set a motion for that direction, and I think more than anything, I gotta just salute to that.
Well, like our biggest complaint, right, was Griffin holding on to assets too long. Like literally the last 6 years, we talked about holding on to the Lakers picks and Leo, to your point, like having another team dictate what we do with these picks. Like, okay, is it an overpay? We don't know yet. Like everyone's overreacting and saying that there's no protection on the pick. Like what we've been talking about this whole time is I appreciate that they were just aggressive and they just wanted to go get Derik Queen, and they literally made it like a priority. And then the other thing is what's driving me crazy is last year people were talking about how great this draft was and this and that. You have all these players, and then guess what? The same fucking topic they're talking about this year. 2026 is loaded, and this and bro. No one knows. You don't know. Nobody knows. So if you say that this next year's draft is loaded, then 2027 is loaded, and 2028 is, where does it end? So it's like at some point you got. I totally agree with Lito. You got to stop like worrying about another team or worrying about another player. If you like a guy, which they liked, go get him. So I appreciate that at least.
It's almost like a backwards.
I mean, guys, you gonna get.
Go ahead, Chris.
Whether you patient or aggressive, you gonna get dragged. No matter which route you take, people gonna talk shit about it.
It don't matter. Shout out to my partner Dua. Nah, man. It's like a backwards kick of the can, right? Like you could always, play devil's advocate, like if we kept this pick, we'd have X, Y, and Z. Like there's no way to determine. It's not like the NFL where if you have the worst record at the end of the season, you get the number one pick. It's a crap shot. And then the players are a crap shot too. So like you have no guarantees. There's nothing to say that you're going to get the right player. Hell, you might have the right player now. So it's all about what you do with said players. And that's how you kind of will be beneficial later on. And, get that return on your investment that you made by drafting these players and creating that situation, creating that foundation. And then you can make those decisions. But I don't mind them making this move. I was just tired of not making moves. I was tired of just not doing anything and say, oh, well, we like what we have. What we got ain't good.
Yeah, seriously.
This isn't
Oh, go ahead, Grub.
I mean, this isn't I don't think anybody's confusing this for a team that's going to go deep in the West next year.
Right.
But I don't think that's the goal next year. I think the goal, again, I think the priority is assessment. You know what I mean? Like next year is the setup for the year after. In honesty, for Joe Dumars, like when we talk about getting a new coach, because nobody believes this team is going to win with Willie as the coach. So you got to get past that. You got to decide whether it's going to be Zion, whether it's going to be Trey, whether it's going to be her. Yeah, one of those guys is eventually going to go. You got to make that decision, and I think that's what this year is about. And I think we'll know a hell of a lot more when you get to the trade deadline about where this team is. But I think the thing that Joe is trying to do is at least identify what the play style is going to be. Who are the players that fit into the overall Pelican identity, which is something, again, we've harped on this franchise for years about what is your identity. It seems like he's trying to reform and decide what this identity is for this team. And then taking two guys who their upside is probably better than their floors as far as what they're going to contribute this year. You're not, neither one are you counting on to be your star in year one. You're not going to put that pressure on either one. Fears is at best your third point guard right now. You know what I mean? Like, but I agree with Five too. Is that I've said this before about the Pelicans. You have to give him a consistent role wherever that is. If you send him down to Birmingham, then you got to start him. If he's playing with the Pelicans, you got to give him a couple of possessions every night to just let him fail on the basketball court. But yeah, I think next year is, and I'm not saying it in the perpetual kick it till next year, but I think no one believes that the Pelicans are going to be all in this season. But you are restructuring your team to be in position to make the next move and the next move. And I think that DeJounte, bowling pin has to knock down, and that will knock down other ones. But that contract alone is holding up so much, and his game, and just his fit is holding up so much. But once you get that wedge out of the way, you can start moving up the highway a lot faster.
Yeah. Let's get Kevin on. Kevin, welcome to the show. What you got, man? How's it going?
What's up, Kevin?
I think you're muted, Kevin. So you have to figure that. You're muted.
Can we unmute Kevin?
I can't unmute Kevin.
Oh.
Let me see.
Yes, we can.
Come on, Kevin.
I've tried, Kevin.
Oh,
Nah,
damn.
we can't unmute it.
Let me know if you figure it out, Kevin. So yeah, once again, if y'all want to join the stream and let us know y'all's thoughts on the draft, I am dropping the link here so y'all can join. 2.5 hours in. Make sure you smash the like button. Go ahead, Jared. What you got?
No, Kevin got it.
Kevin's
unmuted.
back. Kevin,
Yeah.
go ahead, man. What's going on?
I got it back on track. Let me turn my volume down so I don't mess y'all up.
Oh, there you go. Go. What's up?
All right,
Go
this is
ahead.
my first time in probably about a year, guys.
Yeah,
It's
welcome
good to see
back.
y'all again.
What's up, Kev?
Good seeing
Thanks.
you.
Good
Go
to
ahead.
see you
man.
guys this time and about the season ended.
So
Actually,
ahead.
I'd just like to say that, just like you guys have been saying all night, it's just nice to see some proactivity as far as getting this team moving forward. And as far as personnel-wise, I like what they've done. And the one thing I like that Joe's done tonight is he's not building around Zion. He's building outside of him. Zion's going to have to fit into what Joe's doing. And that's what I think that's going to make this team better in the future. As far as Willie's concerned, real quick, I don't want to take too much of y'all's time, but I've never been a Willie fan. I'm still not a Willie fan. Actually, I saw a YouTube video today of a interview he made, and he actually said the biggest mistake I made last year is I didn't develop a good routine. And I'm like, damn, a good routine? I mean, that's like the most fundamental thing you do as a coach. I mean, really, that's the first thing you develop. Then you start thinking strategy, personnel, and how to teach your players. And I guess I'm going to leave you all with that, and you can comment from here.
Kevin, appreciate you, man. Good seeing you again. Lito, thoughts? Go ahead.
I mean, Willie Green.
We got back-to-back Kevins.
He not wrong at all about Willie Green. Like everything he said about Willie was spot on. Look, man, from what I gather, I didn't watch that Willie Green interview, but I've seen two things that okay. I saw two things. Now he can still beat players on the team in basketball, and he didn't have process. So shout out to Kevin.
They already want to fire Joe Dumars. Like people like the trade is fireable.
I think
this is crazy.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Like just using foresight with it, I think you gave yourself a lot less options going into this year because it ain't like Willie some fucking world beater. And yeah, if Zion's healthy, Trey's healthy, everybody's healthy, you should certainly at least be a play-in team. But the only thing is, the play-in teams, if you don't advance to the playoffs, end up in the lottery. So in the event that you did, if shit just start off bad and you like, all right, we got 5 Willie Green, fuck this, we putting the plug on the season. Now you can't do that because now you don't got to pick. So, and even if that's why to give them the benefit of doubt, they can't be done for a number of reasons. Like that's why, like they still got to have some things in the works, and it's just the draft night. A couple things got to happen, but like you're not gonna amass all these assets from Zion. Like you kind of just chalk that up. And if you want to move DeJounte down, you have to add additional assets to move him. So now I'm like, there is no point where you really can take a quote unquote gap year and draft a crapshoot. Take a draft year, get a solid pick or whatever, draft that guy, it's et cetera, et cetera. So now I'm thinking like it feels short-sighted, but again, like Chris say, like Lito say, I respect you go and get the person that you feel like is the guy for you. And if that's Derik Queen, fuck it. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. It might work, it might not work. Look, Sixers traded for Markelle Fultz. It didn't work. But Dallas traded Trae Young for Luka. It worked out for both teams in the short term to a certain extent. So sometimes the shit works, sometimes the shit don't work. But it do seem a little short-sighted because if this year goes bad, then what? Like it's one of those things.
Well, I think well, Chaz, right? So a lot of people are saying if this year goes bad, okay. So let's say it does go bad.
Mm-hmm.
You still have your assets of Zion, Trae, and Herb to get back into next year's draft. And I know, like, I'm just saying that maybe he's thinking about this in a way where, say we go bust, say we have another 20-win season, right?
Yeah.
I see, and guys, Calvin and Marcel, I see y'all in the. We'll get y'all here in a second, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. But you say we go bust, but then we have these assets to get back in the first round next year. Is that something that he might be looking at?
Well, the thing is, if you are trading, I said this earlier, if you're trading Herb or Trae or Zion, you got to do it now before the season starts, because now a bad team is going to say, you know what? Man, we might could do something this year. Portland, for example, we just got Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's a champion. You know what I'm saying? Big Shot Billups, he just got a contract extension. Oh, we are Herb Jones away, and we could probably do so. We got Yang. We about to get off of Ayton, Melk, and Tenaz. Like, oh, we just need Herb Jones. We'll give you this year's first for Herb Jones. Whereas once you get into the season, a bad team not trading for Herb Jones, like it's gonna be a good team, and a good team not gonna have a bad pick. Or, you know, I'm just using basic logic with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's 1-for-1 logic with it. Like, a great team is not going to say, maybe a bad team would trade for Trey Murphy because of the upside play, but more than likely, it's going to be another good team. And if you trade them to a good team, and it's like, all right, cool, we got pick 20. It's like, you might as well keep them for that. So I just don't know. I just don't know.
To Chaz's point, I see you. Like, right, there's like, and the teams don't know they're bad yet. Right, because they haven't played. So they got 30 teams in the league. 25 of them might think that they're good, when realistically, there's only 10 of them. So you could, like, your availability of the possibility of trading with 25 rather than a real 10 is kind of what you're looking at. But to your point about DeJounte being traded, right? I think Joe is looking at this like his agent's going to do that. Because that's really how I feel, right? Like, I think Rich is going to do all the work for Joe to get DeJounte out of there. Because DeJounte already back on the court. He posting pictures. I feel like truth be told, I don't know if he's going to play in the Pelicans uniform again. Truth be told.
No way.
Right? Like, so to Joe is like, all right, I'll get those picks. I'll get something in return eventually, because he won't put him in another bad situation again, right? Rich won't try to just get him somewhere just to get out of New Orleans again, because he just did that to get him out of Atlanta. So he'll have to go to somewhere that somebody will have to be willing to give up something to the Pelicans. So that's just
we got 2 more here. So Kelvin, welcome to the show, man. Go ahead, bro.
Hey guys, first off, I'm super excited to be here. Like, watching the Pelicans alongside you guys has made the team experience super duper fun. But I had a question about just because Chaz and you guys make it a point to say how teams that are better than us, they have some sort of almost like a championship or bust mentality, like a fan of like the Yankees or anything. Every single season that they don't win a ring, fans are outraged and everything. So going forward for the upcoming season, what would be like the barometer to measure success, or at least a step in the right direction? Is it a play-in spot? Is it because I know that the West is super competitive. Is it just a play-in spot? Is it a playoff series win, or is it still that championship or nothing mentality?
Appreciate you, Calvin.
Appreciate you pulling up.
Thank you, Calvin.
That's a great question.
Appreciate the question.
Great question.
I would say that the goal is not a number. Like, I think the goal is the implementation of the identity and the determination of who's staying and who's going. Because if like, as you said, if it goes bad, If they're on pace for another 20 wins, then you're seeing a fire sale, and you're tearing the studs down, the thing all the way down to the studs, and you rebuilding. And if you do that, if that's the case, if you're changing the coach, you're moving on, if you decide you're moving on from Zion, if you're doing those things, then you are trying. I think you're looking for assets, because you've already taken two players whose best years are 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road with Fears and Queen. You're looking for them to peak at those periods. So I think your timeline is going to change. And I think that's when you start moving off of Herb, who's going to be 26, 27, and start doing that. You start moving off Sadiq Bey. You can move Jordan Poole again and get assets, and you maybe go for a young team. If some of these guys do fit, then you pivot and you start building around that. But I don't think making the play-in necessarily is the goal. I don't think you want to see the most wins you can possibly get. But I think the identification of who this team is and who's staying and who's going is the number one mission before the trade deadline.
Appreciate you, Calvin. Marcel, welcome to the show.
What's up, Marcel?
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask wanted to talk about the center situation. I was looking and I came across this as a tweet about the Portland's center depth, talking about DeAndre Ayton. Would he be a fit as a center for this team? They have Donovan Clingan, Rob Williams, Duop Reith, Yang Hansen after the draft. Is that someone that who could work on this team, and like maybe sending someone like Dejounte Murray and Hawkins to match for the salary?
I can answer that by saying
Marcel.
Appreciate the question. There's a quote by Lexi Brown, who was on All the Smoke, and they were watching the live game with DeAndre Ayton, and she said, "Ew, he's so soft." That's what she said. I can never see DeAndre, bro. He solves nothing for the Pelicans, like nothing. He doesn't rebound, like he doesn't play hard. He's not a great rim defender. He makes a lot of money too.
What about Robert Williams?
I mean, it does.
I mean, I
do his legs
take
work?
the risk on Rob. I think he's worth the risk. He's in the final year of his contract. Like, that's the only reason that Robert Williams is worth the risk. If you can get on somebody and take Williams for that. But I hear you, Chris. That's interesting. But I don't think Ayton fits either. Do you? Does anybody think Ayton would fit? Because you're not getting the things that, again, the problems that you're saying you still need to solve: the toughness, the rim protection, the defensive ability. That's not why you have Ayton. Ayton was supposed to come in and be an offensive player. He was never considered a great defender, and he's not.
Yeah. Kai, this should be interesting. Kai, what's going on, bro?
Come on, man. Bring your hating ass up here, man. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's fight. Come on. I'm ready.
First of all, how you guys doing?
How you doing,
proud of you guys. Y'all started off like 3 or 4 years ago, and look at y'all. Y'all,
my dog.
Great, insightful draft night. Way to go there. Way to go there. I think I'm done with Joe Dumars, Brian Troy Weaver. Hey, man, look, let me just go. Let me go. Okay, so I didn't even see the trade, okay, because I was helping out my neighbor. I have an elderly late neighbor, and I had to change some circuit breakers for her to get her AC back on. Helped out, right? I didn't see the trade. I turn on my phone, and I see Pelicans trade for Derik Queen, and I'm like, okay. Then I saw like they trade 23rd pick. I'm like, okay. Then I saw they traded 26th pick. And I saw it was like the swap for the Bucks. And then I started thinking to myself, wait, hold up. Didn't we have 2 draft picks in 26? That was 2 first-round picks. And we traded one of those already for the 23rd. Mm-hmm. And we traded the one we still had left for Derik Queen to draft a dude at 13. So you traded 2 picks, 2 first-round picks in next year's draft for there's a pick swap, 14 that, now keep in mind, you won 21 games last year. So you traded for these 2 rookies, okay? You traded up for 13. When you just gave and you basically traded your entire draft for next year for the 13th pick. And I saw this and I was like, wait, am I stupid? Maybe I'm reading this wrong. I mean, look, I get it. I graduated from I ain't smart. I get it, dog. I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. I get it, dog. I do. I went to Green. I get it, dog. I can't read good. I get it. And I was like, man, this can't be it. And then I read it again and I was like, this ain't adding up. Why would you trade your entire draft for next year for the 13th pick when you're not going to be good? You are like, it's not. You're not going to be good. You don't have a starting center, okay? Let's start there, all right? I like Carlo and Missy. They're backups. You don't have a starting center. So you traded for the 13th pick, and it's like people told me that's being aggressive. That's not being aggressive. Being aggressive is like calling Phoenix and going, I'm not getting off this phone until I get Booker. And if I got to sell my franchise, that's being aggressive. Being aggressive is calling Charlotte and selling the farm for LaMelo. Being aggressive is calling for a Jaylen Brown. This isn't being aggressive. This is fucking stupid. Because it makes no sense. It doesn't. Look. I'm sorry for cursing. But dude, it makes like
that's not the problem.
No. Look. Think about really think about it. Okay, you're talking about your future. Okay, fine. Zion's not gonna be all right. If the Zion stuff don't work out, then you're going, all right, I can get more picks. But you know what? You could have had more picks if you just would have just not traded those. So when Zion does X out or you're forced to trade him, you could have had more ammo going into next year and then did a real rebuild. So what's the plan? Like that's it. This makes no sense. And it also makes no sense because you drafted these 2 offensive guys and you still have Willie Green as the coach.
Guy,
no, look, dude. It makes no sense. Okay. You traded your entire next year draft to move up to 13. You ain't traded to move up from number 2 or number 3. You did it for 13 for a dude who there are reports saying he showed up to workouts not in shape.
Well, fit right in. Kai. Let me get Chris's thoughts, Kai. Let me get Chris's thoughts. I got other people in the room. As always, appreciate you though, bro. But Chris, go ahead.
Shout out to Kai.
Shout out to Kai.
Shout out to Kai, man.
Chris.
Look, I understand folks that think that this was short-sighted, and it's a little, degenerate gambling-ish, a little bit. I can see that, but here's the thing, bro. When you made that trade with to get that haul from the Lakers, and you made the original Milwaukee trade, and I remember us having conversations about remember the original Lakers swap, the 2 of them. We went back and forth about okay, well, when's the right time for them to move it, because we don't know what the Lakers are gonna, we don't know how they're gonna, how they gonna fall, how they go. Maybe it's now, maybe it's not right now. And I remember the Wemby draft, Lakers got off to like a rough start, and that was the talk. Oh man, the Pelicans are gonna get another top lottery pick. They're gonna get another top, whatever, another top 10 pick out of the Lakers. Crazy, right after the Dyson Daniels deal. That it never manifested. It never happened. Now we could be completely wrong here. We could be completely wrong, and this could suck. And you could have gave Atlanta the number 1 overall pick next year, 100%. But we were just here. Now that doesn't mean that you should, that Joe and Troy Weaver should go and just trade the next 7 to 10 years and mortgage your entire future. But I think what people are missing in this is, and it's a little different for me because I'm biased on Derik Queen. I I think Derik Queen's a top 5 talent in this draft. So I don't view it as you trading for the 13th overall pick. To me, that's just where he fell. You know what I'm saying? If you don't view it that way, it's totally different. But you gotta talk about the players in this as well. The kind of mentality. You brought 2 bullies to your franchise. Everybody keeps saying they want people, in this organization. They care and they want to win and want to get people to the building. You brought 2 dudes that's going on the basketball floor. You gonna want to go and watch them play basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I ain't sitting here trying to hold the cape for the franchise because it is that's a degenerate gamble trade. I ain't gonna lie to you, it is. It's a little crazy, but I can't fault them for going to get their guy. And it's somebody I just happen to be biased about that I think is gonna be a really good player.
It's fair. Look, Kai's fair. Chris's response is fair. Mark, what's going on? Welcome to the show, man.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, blessed, grateful.
That's good to hear, brother.
Mark, you in witness protection, dog?
I'm trying not to summon my son.
Oh, okay, all right.
He'll come in here, toys and everything, dude. So I was trying to look at it like from like glass half full, like the trade, the draft picks, everything. So if you look at the roster, what have we all been screaming? We've all been saying the same thing. We got these glaring like needs for the roster: point guard, power forward, rebounding, identity, flair. Like, how long have we been saying like Pelicans? Like, oh man, the team just kind of falls flat. Like the team loses all oxygen and the team goes dead. You see it in games. Like when you're locked in watching this team throughout the season, we'll have games where we just die. The entire team will die for a whole quarter. And it's like you get a Patrick Queen in. This guy, he's kind of name brand already. He's already got like a little following and people cheering for
Derik
him.
Queen, but Patrick Queen's the linebacker from LSU that played for Baltimore.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh now.
I'm getting old. They're all, the players, it's hard to keep the names. But he's got a little, I put in the comment section earlier, Queen's got a little razzle dazzle in this game for a guy that's 6'10". And that's good for a bland franchise. And our city's supposed to have a little flavor, right?
It's fair.
And then, so you look at, we bring in Jordan Poole, and he's a guy who's received a lot of hate throughout his career. He's still got the same like calm face though. And then like I did a little research on him. Everybody that's around Jordan Poole says that he's a gym rat and he's just always working. That's good for the franchise. That's good to have a guy that's gonna come in and walk with the talk. Then we got DeJounte. I think that's another plus, if minus the interview. Then you got Zion, Trey, Herb, and then our big guys. I think we still need a center, and then we need to figure out. I think we got some depth. That's really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we did.
I think we finally got some depth, and the NBA season is a war of attrition and bringing in talent, especially the guy. Who's the guy the guard? Fierce. That's good. We've been crying for ball handling and guys that can take ball pressure whenever the ball is, whenever you got a defense Pelicans always struggle whenever teams turn up the intensity on us and they start pressing us full court and make us fight through in our sets. Historically, this isn't something that just happened. It's been like this for as long as I can remember. We've had like here and there guys, like we've had like a Rondo, like guys that know how to run the offense and handle ball pressure. But normally we may have one guard that can take ball pressure. And a pitcher being an opposing team, you're just waiting to set the dogs loose on us whenever you only got one ball handler on the roster. I mean, even Zion and Herb, guys that we asked to handle the ball, those guys can't take ball pressure, constant ball pressure. CJ couldn't take constant ball pressure. He coughed the ball up, turned the ball over. So it's good. We brought in some point guards. I'm not going to talk y'all's heads up.
That's nasty. That's nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity.
Lito, you're muted. You're muted. Hey, Mark, let me get Lito's thoughts here. I got a couple other here, but I always appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Yes, I'm about to go listen.
All right, bro. Go ahead, Lito.
Lito,
you're
we let Mark get away with a lot of things was happening in that spiel that I just my dog was laying on the ground and she looked up at me like,
you ain't gonna say nothing.
You got that's nasty. That's a nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm answering, but yeah.
We had depth.
Y'all not gonna step in. You know what I'm saying?
We had depth.
We're a family show, bro. You gotta.
Shout out to Mark, man. One of my favorite guests. Here we go. Prospect.
Oh shit.
Whoa, what up, Prospect?
This should be good.
Y'all
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey man, Kai need to relax, man. They always do this. they always do this, man. Like they always try to go all in all the time. Like sometimes just when you want them to play it cool and let it play out, that's when they decide to start doing some shit. So I'm pretty used to it. All of a sudden, like them trading CJ for Jordan Poole, I'm like, all right. Like I feel like it don't move the needle. We back to having a nursery. That's damn near what it seemed like. Like CJ was the only adult damn near on the team. But more than anything, I feel like CJ was gonna get moved, but I'm mad they gave up Olynyk. That's the type of big man they need. That's why I keep saying go get Danny Wolf. They need somebody that's a big that can really stretch the floor.
That's fair. Damn, Prospect. I was expecting way more. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed tonight in you tonight. I'm disappointed.
I think Prospect made a good point though.
Shout out to you, Prospect.
Shout out to my dog, Prospect.
I'm just trying to be calm.
You're trying to be calm on this show.
That's why. Oh shit!
I'm like,
my bad, Prospect.
Yeah, I'm like the anger is there, but I expected it. They did exactly what I expected.
Fair. Go ahead, Chaz. Appreciate your, Prospect.
Look, and Justin, you can attest to this.
Yep.
You go see houses all the time, right? And a lot of the times you go into some nice houses, but it really don't matter what you like. It matters what cash flows. Can this shit pay for itself? Can I make some money too while we doing this? So I feel like the Pelicans kind of put themselves in a spot where it's like, you really can't be bad next year. Now you can't just make the plan. You got to make the playoffs, because if you're in the lottery and you just traded a lottery pick, I think you absolutely gonna have to attach something to get rid of DeJounte, because you couldn't get rid of healthy Brandon, who was expiring, and DeJounte got 3 years left coming off a torn Achilles. So yeah, one could say you don't need all these young people in the building anyway, and that's true. I absolutely think that, because you can't develop 3 and 4 people at a time. I think that's a big mistake to try to do that. But at the same time, looking at this roster, I'm going to trust that they aren't done. I would give them the benefit of the doubt, because you better not be done, because it's all good when you holding on 12 with the house's money, but when it's your own money, because now you ain't got nobody assets no more. All you got that one lone Bucks pick that's like top 4 rights protected, and you got like a situation with Atlanta. But now everything is your own money. You ain't getting no seconds yet. You ain't getting nothing. And you can't go into the tax, because now you can't pay a motherfucker to get out the tax. So unless you're about to use it first, which you definitely don't want to do. So I just know they can't be done. I understand everyone's frustration though, because on the surface, it seems very short-sighted. Like it seems very short-sighted. But we just gotta give it incomplete. Before you give it an F, just give it incomplete, because you don't know what the next shooting drop is.
See, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chad, but
I'm done.
That's my thought too. Nothing has been done. Like,
yeah, it's one night. It's one night.
Like the roster is not filled out. You know what I'm saying? However they wanted to. Like you kind of like, bro, just give it a minute.
Yeah, which is crazy for us to say. IMX, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. So excited about the picks. I've been watching the videos I've been posting of the scouting reports. I do like Derik Queen a lot, and I do like Jeremy Fears, but unfortunately, man, Willie Green is still going to be coaching these guys, and I'm not going to be surprised if Jose is going to be getting like 20 minutes over Fears, and I'm going to see Fears like. Kind of end up like Jordan Hawkins, man. Like I get, I know, like I've seen all the videos about Chaz saying like, oh, Jordan, him being good was just like a one-time thing. I honestly blame Willie Green for everything. I think he's a great person if you want to send rookies to die. I don't like. I like these picks, but what are they going to turn into? Because Willie Green's the head coach. Like I feel like if Oklahoma City were drafting these two guys, that they would end up, like Shea and Chet. But they're on the Pelicans, and Willie Green's the head coach. So,
IMX, shout out to you, bro. Yeah. Shout out to you. That was very intelligent, well said. Appreciate you joining the show because we're going to talk about this right now. Thanks for joining the show, bro. Jarrett, he brings up a really good point though, and I want to hear. We'll go Jarrett then Grubb. Another two rookies now, two top 13 guys under Willie Green. We've talked about this. Trey Murphy, his rookie year was played over Tony Snell, and then obviously Josh Richardson the following year. Kyrie Lewis never really got a shot. Well, he did get a shot in the playing game when he just got thrown in there for 4 minutes after a 2-month hiatus. But that's neither here nor there. Then you obviously have Jordan Hawkins, who has struggled under Willie Green. So is this something that you are worried about with an 18-year-old in Fears and a guy like Derik Queen, who has issues with, weight and being out of shape and all that stuff? Like, are you worried about that? We'll go Jarrett then Grubb.
Yeah, I'm terrified of that. He's gonna kill their confidence immediately. It's gonna be bad. Hopefully, there's some parameters that Joe Dumars sets. But man, it's gonna be bad because neither of those guys are really good defensively. And he's always said, and that's really been his calling card, to say if you can't play defense and you're a rookie, probably won't play. I mean, I get the standard. I understand it. But is that how you win in the NBA? No. It just isn't. And when you draft guys that valuable, and you give guys that value, I don't see how you can't play them. I think that's a very harsh reality that or precedent that Willie Green has set, and hopefully he's changed. Hopefully that changes for the sake of this franchise, because you're giving two really young guys Willie Green, right? They're putting those precious gems in his hands, and I don't think he'll turn them into diamonds.
Yeah, go ahead. Well said. Or let's go Grubb and go Chaz.
Yeah, I ask later.
I mean, y'all know my thoughts on Willie and just the idea of just his inability to put players into winning situations, whether it's on a game-by-game basis, whether it's, for their futures. When you talk about short-sightedness, when we used that word earlier, I mean, like, I think that's what you think of when you think of Willie. It's just like there is no foresight, whether it's in a game adjustments, whether it's how you want to use somebody, whether it's making the adjustment for a player when they haven't gotten their shots or their rhythm. And so I think, that's the unfortunate thing. I think if you are concerned, your concern is that both Fears and Queen have to do this on their own, that they have to make themselves so good early on that Willie has no choice to play them. I think for Queen, the bar is a lot lower because of the need up front. But for Fears, I think that the thing that gives you some optimism for Fears is that he is so confident, that he does think, and you see just from his early statements that he's already made, that this kid believes he's the best player in this draft. He's got to hold that chip on his shoulder all year long. he's got to fight for himself all year long. Like, he's got to speak up for himself. He's got to fight for himself in practice. He's got to establish himself as a leader early on. He's got to be there for every drill. He's got to run every sprint. He's got to do all those things because he does not have the path to the court that Fears has. He doesn't have that luxury of playing a position as a need because of that defense and because of Jose's presence, because of DeJounte's current presence, because of Poole. There's enough reasons for Willie to not play Fears. So the burden is going to be on that young man to make himself playable. And I hope that starts tomorrow. I hope he's in the gym tomorrow. I hope he's bothering the Pelicans as soon as he can. When can I get in the building? When can I start working out, guys? What's guys' phone numbers? Let me call people because I'm the point guard and I'm taking that responsibility. But as far as the Pelicans and their development, it's always going to be a question mark until we see some evidence that it's starting to work. Because the only guys who have developed from their year one to what you like about, they did it on their own. Trey did it on his own. Herb did it on his own. And Zion is just such a freaking natural talent that he doesn't, that he's just able to be on the court. If you don't do it on your own for this team, as long as Willie's there, it ain't going to get done.
Yeah. So look, we're going to do, Chaz, we'll give you your final thoughts here. Record night for the show. Appreciate everyone. We've gone on for 3 hours. Appreciate all the guys, everybody that's guys and girls in the stream, in the chat, join the show. But more importantly, appreciate Jarrett, Chaz, Chris, Grubb, Lito, and Ross to put in all this work over the last month and a half. We're talking film reviews. You're talking live shows. You're talking some of the best content that you don't get anywhere else. So really appreciate everybody on the stream tonight. Y'all have done an incredible job covering this draft. It is, someone had asked, it's a 2-day draft. So second round is tomorrow. We'll try to get something out. But Chaz, final thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everyone that's joined the show. We'll go Chaz and then Chris, you can close it up. Chaz muted. Damn, I'm
gonna go with Sam Super Chat as well. Say who was the best shooting center left in the draft. I would think it would have to be Wolf if he's still. I'm not sure if he got picked yet, but
damn, Wolf still hasn't been picked.
I also want to say
Danny Wolf's still out there.
Just looking at everything, where would y'all rank this roster today in the Southwest?
Last.
You think it's worse than the Spurs roster?
Last.
Yeah. The division. I mean,
just talent, just on paper.
Yeah. That's to say, just on paper.
I think they could compete with Memphis on paper, but I think
it's about even first.
I would put probably Memphis, the Spurs, and the Pelicans are in the same tier. But that being said, and again, this is only the beginning. Still shit you can do. Still got assets, right? You ain't, the cupboard's not bare. Now you absolutely need to go get a starting center because see how we always like, well, maybe that's just one division in the West, right? So you gotta think about the teams that also got better. Portland, a couple other teams, San Antonio, if they're healthy this year. There's a couple teams that they're gonna improve, right? I think now your number one goal got to be go find the absolute best center on the market, and you need to do it ASAP. You need to do it now because you can't be bad this year. You just can't. You punt it your window to be bad because now you got no picks. So you absolutely got to be good next year, or you got to be respectable next year.
I love how people are like, they might have just traded the number one overall pick. You have just no idea. Like you just people are saying fucking insane things.
Well, let
me get through some super chat because this could go on forever. So appreciate all the super chats. Creole kicks 5 pieces. Queens ceiling and unathletic Julius Randle. Lito, real quick.
That was a comp I had. It's funny he said that.
An unathletic Julius Randle.
Julius Cole.
Julius Randle athletic?
Julius Randle not athletic at all.
First, yeah.
I'm trying to think of another Julius Randle.
He probably saying that Julius Randle like
Julius
kind
ain't
of
that
dangerous.
athletic
Maybe he's saying
himself.
that because of that.
That shit fucking me
How
up.
about
I'm
another
like,
Julius Randle?
I'm like, Julius Randle.
Creole Kicks, appreciate the super chat.
Appreciate you, homie.
Creole Kicks.
I'm just trying. Big Ray, we've gone for 3.5 hours.
Thank you,
here,
Big
Chris.
Ray. Appreciate
Big
you,
Ray
brother.
Chief, YouTube member, appreciate you.
My dog.
Blue Jay, 10 Bucru Media memberships. We're definitely going to drop a media or a member show this week.
Hey,
Chaz.
Chaz. I just want to say this real quick.
Yep.
I think the thing when you look at the West, you compare the division. I think it's 6 teams in the West. Still, there's still 6 teams, and everything after that top 6 is a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like the only team I think that's still guaranteed to be in that bottom 2 in the West is Utah. I think Utah's still going to be a bad team, but everybody else, I don't have a whole bunch of faith in Golden State next season. Because I think that's a weird team and it's getting older and older. Memphis has a lot of question marks. Sacramento has a lot of question marks. We don't know what they're going to look like. Dallas still has question marks because we don't know what their health is going to be. Phoenix still is all shooting guards at this point with the new and 2 centers. They still don't have a point. They still don't have small forwards. They don't have power forwards. And then Portland is going to be better, but how much better? San Antonio, how much better? So I think it's a big log jam for the most part after you get out of that top 6. Pause. I know I caught myself in that, but after that first 6, I think everything then is up for grabs, and the Pelicans could be in that. It certainly should be in that mix to be in that top 10.
Oscar Ronald McDonald of Healthcare, appreciate the super chat. I think Jody's been watching Boo Crew. Sam with a $10 piece. Who is the best shooting center left?
So, Danny Wolf or Maximine Renault. Now,
They still got pick 40.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, they might mess around and have a solid option there. Even if we're talking at the center position, but
Damn,
was there a question, Justin? I'm sorry, you said close out.
Bro, I want you to close it out, but Stealthman, I'm trying to get through super chats real quick. Stealthman, $50 piece. Going to start the new season. Jared, I don't understand the pick, but y'all support the fellas and hit the like button. Appreciate you, Stealthman.
Thank you, brother.
Too Slow 77 gifted 5 Boo Crew media memberships. If you don't get one now, bro, something's wrong. Put 150 plus 400 odds on Malawak at 7. I'm sorry, brother. That's tough. You're right there. That's tough. He's gambling. Google Malawak Combine second result. Fresh Prince, remember, did y'all discuss Will interview where he said he
Shout out to Fresh Prince.
That was a very interesting interview. That's all. I'll leave it at that. Brian Ross, I know Utah mad as hell they lost their guy. E-Dog, member for 3 months before any pick or trade shenanigans occurred. Just want to say thanks for providing the best, not only Pels, but sports content, period.
Thank you,
shout out
brother.
to Chris Roswell as well. And shout out to Lala. Guys, shout out to Lala. Lala's been in the background here for 3.5 hours. It's a good time. Lala. Just truly one of the best in the game. Chris, close us out.
Hey man, look, you don't have many opportunities to get people that you feel confident will be successful. The Pelicans either have drastically changed their franchise for the next 5-10 years. They've either drafted 2 stars, 1 superstar possibly, or they continue to make short-sighted or bad decisions that we will be talking about until we all under the ground. But at the end of the day, appreciate everybody for pulling up. Everybody on the panel, man. We made Boo Crew history today. Propels Talk history. With close to 1,000 people here. I can't imagine what the final numbers look like. Shout out to Lala. We'll see what the Pelicans end up doing, but what they end up doing from here, they definitely got some more roster things that they have to address, and I think that they will, because this tells me, fellas, that they think, or they are going for an opportunity to be competitive and being a playoff team, because now they have no choice. So we'll see. We got to see what the rest of this roster shakes out as we really get into the offseason, because are we really even there? So, we'll
smash the like button.
Hey, one more thing.
Shout out one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Hey, man, listen. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. The franchise is doomed now. Like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Like, bro. The Pelicans been ass for years. Why is tonight? You motherfuckers act like they won 20 games last year. What are you talking about? Like,
We gave up 2026. So
in his whole regime, they won 49 games. Like, where you think we coming from?
I don't know, bro. That's well said, Lito. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Smash the like button. Y'all the best, bro. Really appreciate y'all. 3.5 hours. We'll do something tomorrow. Does anyone know what time the draft is tomorrow? Is it during the day? Grub, do you have any?
Day. It was during the day last year, right?
Yeah, I remember that, Chaz.
Maybe I'll go live again tomorrow.
I think we'll be live. We'll definitely be live tomorrow at some point. Make sure you follow everybody, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, Instagram. So appreciate everybody. Pelicans get Jeremiah Fears at 7. Trade up and get Derik Queen at 13. Obviously, a big night for the Pelicans. Whether it be good or bad, we have no idea. So appreciate everybody. We'll see y'all later.
All right, man.